Yo, got 2 people on my stream. Let's go. Let's go. Yo, everyone's streaming right now. I think Chow Codes is streaming right now too. What up? What up? Hey, hey, hey. Midnight stream, baby. What up, people? Is the music too loud? Let me know if the music's too loud. What up? Hey, Donovan. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, midnight stream. Let's do this. Hey, dude. How was your San Diego trip? Are you still there? This track on TechRally incoming? Oh my god, what is this? Let me, yo, I gotta. wait. Let me see this. I gotta stop sharing. Share screen. Chrome tab. This track. Share audio. Let's see.
I'm friends with TechRally. Can you drop a diss track on him? Oh, bro, bet. Bet, I got you. I'm friends with TechRally. Can you drop a diss track on him? Oh, bro, bet. Bet, I got you.
Yeah, let's go. I'm pretty sure his rapping skills aren't
I'm friends with
that
TechRally.
great,
Can
though.
you drop a diss track?
I'm sure there's a better way to add music. I'm sure there is. But for now, I'm lazy and might as well pay for the service since it's so much better than what I would do on OBS. I just got back home from the San Diego's dope. Did you get any good food? I learned I'm a big fan of it. Yo, In-N-Out's so good, but I've been eating like garbage lately. I ate Shake Shack, double Shack burger with fries, and then I ate Texas barbecue at night. So it's been pretty crazy. Yeah, we're both streaming. I know. I saw that too on his Discord channel. Who are you gonna watch instead, bro? Are you gonna watch me or are you gonna watch him? Let's see where your loyalty is at. I might have to drop you as moderator if you start watching his stream more than mine. No, I'm kidding. What's he doing? Is he on what's he up to? Is he actually coding? Let's see. Chow videos. Man, his live stream looks so cool. Like, how the heck does he do all that stuff? I gotta figure that layout out. I like that setup a lot. If any of you know how to do a good like live stream setup, please hit me up. I'll be more than willing to pay for it. Hey, what up from LA? Nice. I love California. Originally a California boy, so I don't know this hat. I love this shows, but it's an LA hat. I'll watch yours if you watch him. How does that work? Well, I guess I could do Streamlabs, my guy. Oh, I'm so lazy. But you might be right. Yeah, let's see. I'm pretty sure there's a way I could do it. Let's see. I'll do that. And then I will stop sharing. Let's see.
Knowledge. I just wanted to apply anyways. Pirate Player 1234, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Chow fam. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, I feel like as soon as I started building projects and they started working, then I pretty much just
we both have our hats backwards. What the heck?
I love my old arcade games.
What a coincidence.
Where did it go? You know this. I do know this. I'm good. How are you? I'm doing well. Got to relax every now and then. 100%. Just started following me like 2 days ago. Congratulations on your new job. True
I'm watching a stream. It's because DGNT is asking.
My friend, thank you. Yeah, it's pretty crazy still that it's happening. But yeah, finally employed. Chow_games. I honestly was gonna name it that. The gaming channel would have been Chow_games.
Chow_games.
Pirate Player 1234. Thank you for the 1 biddy. I appreciate it. Tell more about what? What do you want to know about? What do you want to know more about?
No, I'm gonna stop
Science
this.
and coding.
He's a very active guy. He's like lots of good streams. So, let's see. What do I need to do? I don't even know what I'm doing. What am I doing? I am trying to organize some of my thoughts because I am gonna be working starting Monday. Let's go. So till then, you guys have any questions? My 4 people watching me right now. I'm viral. Let's do this. Today we're showing Joma Tech. I wonder how much money he makes from doing this, just keeping this live lo-fi stream. Because there's like 200 people watching this. That's a secret. But hopefully I can share it with you in a new video. And then I'll be posting it. So stay tuned, Donovan. That content will come out very, very soon. I'm making $0 a year right now. So until I start my new job. You should reveal your salary. I'll be curious. Tell me how much the government has paid you. How's everyone's weekend? Any fun activities? Anybody? Is there a hot topic that you guys want to discuss? I'll be down for that too. Let's go. I'm ready. Yo, we make the same amount. What a coincidence. Hey, what's your watch time at these days? Mine's like slowly been growing. It's been slowly growing, but it's still such a grind. Let's see. I'm at 1707. What is she nagging you about? talk to your therapist, Mr. TechRally here. I'm kidding. Don't talk to me. I don't know anything. Unless it's related to code. And even then, that's questionable. I'd say like one of the big reasons why when I first started this channel, why I made tutorials was because I wanted to show that I actually knew how to code. But the second, I obviously was a lot nervous about talking in front of a camera. So but at least you see me code, and now like all my new content, it is me more talking in front of a camera, which I kind of like to do. It's a little bit different, and I code every day anyway, so it's good to just kind of have a little outlet to do different things. Probably the same with DGNT as well. I do need to do this, so I'll move that over. I do need to record a bunch of videos for next week's content, but I'm so backed up with all this other stuff I need to do. What am I gonna do? Yeah, I need to do that too. Oh, at least I finished that. Pretty good weekend so far. I'll be starting a mentorship in React. What does that mean? Like, is it one person? Is it a group? I'll be curious. Let me know. Praying for you, brother. 950 monetizable watch hours, but 2.4K. Wait, so are you already monetized? I know your subscriber count isn't quite there yet, but 2.4. Oh wait, no, you need 4,000. You still need 4,000 hours. What do you mean 952 are monetizable? How do you already know that? Teach me your secrets. I think I might start getting into shorts. I know I said that like 2 months ago, but I think I really need to get into it. I think shorts seems like it's the way to go. Watch hours from really? Oh man. All right, never mind then. Maybe I guess you could get subscribers though, but content has your subscribers that probably have to still be like related to what you watch. Yeah, your audience is so wide range, it might be very difficult to keep your subscribers. Yeah, it's 4,000 total watch. D-Toms, Danny, dang. Thanks for coming up, man. What a celebrity. I got a celebrity in my live stream now. Oh, man. Hey, if you're up for an interview one day, let's connect. I'll love to talk to you. I love your story. And even though I pretty much know it by heart by now, I think I've seen all your interviews and all your... I think I know your elevator pitch too. Like, so, you know, I grew up in Tennessee. I was cooking chicken at a gas station, fried chicken at a gas station. And I just knew that, you know, I heard this story about this celebrity that was learning how to code. And I was like, why can't I do that? And I'm like, man, I feel like I've heard this story like 4 or 5 times, but you know what? I love it every single time. I love that you have the same energy the first time and even the last time you talk about it. So props to you, man. I love all your little like tweets and LinkedIn posts as well. So keep it going. I love that energy. I need that energy too, actually. I need to be more hype. Let's be hype. I recently found your channel. Thanks for the help on the videos. Keep me. Hey, you're welcome. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you know what's crazy, because sometimes I feel like no one watches my videos. My views are like pretty bare compared to a lot of these other great YouTubers. Hey, if it helps you out, I really appreciate it. Oh, nice. Good luck, Donovan. I love React. I've used Vue and Angular before, and you know, you just learn the technology that will get you the job. But if I had a preference, I would definitely like React more. Yeah. Go. Yo, man, I pay for like some expensive internet. I don't know what's going on here. Messed up. Ah. Oh yeah, how do I do this? I don't even know. Let's see. Add to the stream. Can you guys hear music? I have no idea. All right, so I might have messed up the story just a little bit, but I think I got the whole context. Dang, we got a lot of New Yorkers here. You know, me, you. I know Cody Face is from New York too, so or now he lives in Florida, enjoying that sweet, sweet sunny weather. Hate that dude. No, I'm kidding. I love him. If your content is short videos, then short should work, I think. Yo, what happened to the internet? Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, I gotta welcome Coding Face. Welcome Joe Santos. Yeah, that was me. Sorry guys, my bad. Check. We back at it again, everyone. I'm gonna steal everyone's lines and then put it into my own channel and see if people notice. I thought it was mine. The internet is in South Africa. No, that was me, man. My bad. Yo, we in here, Queens. Why you leave New York, man? Honestly, that's the talk that Microsoft wants, that exact same talk. Google, every want to maybe it's all the lights in New York. Yeah, the talk you. There's just so many. I hate the internet here. Ah, that's annoying. Yeah, I'm in New York City. Dude, I'm paying for Verizon Fios. I don't understand why the internet's so bad right now. It says my connection's like hella unstable. I didn't realize StreamYard was so demanding. Maybe if I turn off that. No, it's so unstable. It's so unstable right now. Oh man. Maybe this is why Coding Face recommends never live streaming. I'm just trolling. Oh man. No, I'm not leaving. I was just joking. Stay, Donovan. Stay with my crazy internet connection. I don't know if it's no. I think it is my internet though. Like legit. You know, like I could understand when Coding Face live streams because he's always driving and then he goes under a tunnel and then everything goes bonkers. Oh, I'm like looking at my stream. Such garbage. Oh, so dumb. I am sorry, people. So dumb. I am sorry, people. Hey, it's finally back. Ugh. That's true. It's been kind of snowing, but stable. Frack. Yeah, I might have to cut this live stream short. I'm sorry, everyone. Maybe if I open my door. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that works. Later, Adam. Danny rarely passes by my live stream, dude. But dude, you live stream every day. I know I'm so poor now because I've been sending Coder Foundry and anybody else that's like live streaming some super chats. Gotta give them their tacos. All right, let's put on some music. What's weird though, it's like I wish I came into these live streams a little bit more prepared. Like, oh, let's talk about a topic. Yeah. But Maybe it's because I put the music on. It's still a little could tell because it keeps giving me that Wi-Fi issue, but we'll see. Thank you. It is better, hopefully. Oh, stress. You pay an arm and a leg to live in New York City and have crappy internet. This is the life we live. Hey, I think you guys need to pay me a little bit of, that middleman cash because I just connected you guys together. So, Coding Phase, Danny, if you guys need my Venmo, I'll send it over. It's at TechRally. No, I'm kidding. What's hogging up the bandwidth? The music? Yeah, you gotta hustle, man. You gotta hustle. I'm like the what's his name? What's LeBron's agent? Rich Paul? I'll be the Rich Paul for software developers. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, guys, no music, just me. Stream is acting up again. Yeah. I think maybe it is my roommate. Damn, I'm looking at the quality on my phone. It's horrible. Holy moly. Hey, Gabriel, how are you doing? Danny, I'm surprised you're awake. Aren't you usually like I have to wake up at like 3 or 4 in the morning kind of guy? I swear, I have no idea what's going on. Man, I'm so sad. Why is this I'm so sad why this Wi-Fi is such garbage. uh Man, you're a freaking machine, dude. I don't know how you have a full-time job and then do what you do. It's crazy. I feel like I'm just not hustling hard enough. I wonder if there's a better way to do this is to just have someone else on the stream with me. So every time I disconnect, at least someone else could take over. That's kind of, I think that'll be the game plan. Now I'm working on it. Basically, release a full bootcamp for full stuff for free. So I'm going to teach my bootcamp now. I didn't even know you had a bootcamp. I know you had that LinkedIn and Twitter thing, but I'll be curious about that. Hey, man, you're competing with Coding Phase. He needs to make that bread. What are you gonna do if giving it away for free? No, I'm kidding. Now I'm just starting a war. Oh, that's awesome. Which boot camp is it? I think I saw it on your LinkedIn profile, but wasn't sure. Recommend? Recommend what? Yeah, anyone have questions? Man, Cody Face, all the stuff you keep saying, I need to keep approving it for some reason. You're getting flagged, bro. And I don't see it on my stream. I have to do it through my phone. Oh my god, my Wi-Fi is so good. Oh my god, my Wi-Fi is so good. We're literally on my internet 5G. I don't know why it's so garbage. I could try the extended. Not sure if I want to though. Let me see if this extended Wi-Fi is gonna work. I'll be right back, boys. What's my password? Ugh, I don't know what my password is. Cancel. I teach at Launch Code, a free boot camp, but it's location based. So I want to release curriculum because people in other locations can. Yeah, that makes complete sense. Bro, I'm shadow banned. I'm shadow banned. People don't believe me. Don't worry, I'll approve everything you say as long as it doesn't say anything about me in a negative light. Because then I drop the hammer in the nails. Sorry. Any clubhouse recommendations for development? Yeah, there's a club. If you guys aren't familiar with Clubhouse, it's like the new social, I guess, no social network platform. The ones I like for specifically for tech is called the Cool House. I think there's a lot of like tech people there. And then I could give you a list of people I follow on Clubhouse there are a lot of recruiters on there, and they actually they share a lot of job postings, which is kind of weird because I don't know. It feels like it's just like a room full of recruiters, but no actual software developers. So like I find myself like writing notes and then like figuring out techniques and strategies that I could use for my future videos. But yeah. Leak code generally or algo. I never actually use algo expert, so I don't really know, but I use leak code and it's been helpful for me. I like doing versus just like reading about algorithms. So I know people recommend that book, Cracking the Code, but I actually don't use. I bought the book and I don't actually use it because it's like it's really hard for me to read something and without actually doing it myself. My brother is just dogging on my internet connection right now, even though it is pretty straight garbage. I do agree. It's the worst internet I've ever seen. Look at that quality on my face. It looks like I'm on like 56K or something. Uh, what are you up to, guys? What are you guys up to tonight? All right, I'm gonna try something different. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna finagle this without actually trying to reset my router. Yeah, Wi-Fi is still garbage. That ain't gonna work. All right. Use one of the sites for the problems. Use one of the sites for the problems. It'll be hard in the beginning. Just stay after it. Look at the solutions, but don't learn how it's solved. Learn why. I agree, and that's why kind of leak code is kind of nice in that sense because they have a pretty like thorough explanation. But one thing I don't like about it is that I'm more familiar with JavaScript, and it's just yeah, I think a lot of the solutions are in Java or C, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, maybe my roommate went to sleep. Clubhouse is pretty legit. I think if Twitter successfully makes places legit, it'll blow up. I don't know. I don't. Maybe. One thing good about Clubhouse versus Twitter is that Clubhouse you're forced to talk to people versus I don't know how like Twitter is gonna do their stuff, but there's still that element of adding text, which is fine. But specifically in Clubhouse, I feel like you build a lot more organic connections because you're forced to talk to them. And we'll see if that happens. But I know like Facebook probably wants to do something similar and things like that. If you understand the how, you can only reproduce for that exact same. If you understand the why, you can reproduce anything. Yeah, and that's as a new developer, it's hard. And I think sometimes people are just so used to just like memorizing things. It's like that part will be a little bit difficult, but I totally agree. We are looking better. Thank you. 1 second. Oh, let's put the hat in the front. My experience with data structures and algorithms has been using Cold Steel for a longer drawn education manner with LeetCode. Yeah, so I have a friend who recommended the Cold Steel one because he kind of goes into like at a high level of how data structures and algorithms work without actually like coding it. So that definitely a good recommendation there. Bro, whatever you're doing, just keep it like that. No one cares if it's 4K. Your audio is good, so don't worry about it. Yeah, I mean it's good to have both as long as I'm not disconnecting. But yo, I got 11 people watching now. This is awesome. I got two powerhouse YouTubers on my live stream too. Like this is I'm clout chasing, baby. What are you aiming for? What is your goal? That's a good question. I think this year, end of the year for my YouTube channel, I want to have 10,000 subscribers. It's kind of a big goal for me. I'm not sure if I'll achieve it. In terms of specific for this YouTube channel, I kind of overall I just want to help people break into tech, and that's kind of been my goal this whole time. And ideally, throughout this year while working, I want to be able to build my own website and kind of build a course not related to like teaching HTML, CSS, React, or things like that, but I want to build a course based on all the knowledge I learned from doing my coaching, doing my one-on-ones with people, and figuring out like a strategy of yes, I graduated from a coding bootcamp, or yes, I'm a self-taught developer that feels like they're ready to get their first job. But what am I exactly missing that I can't seem to get my first job? And a lot of that revolves around building better projects, building a portfolio, how you approach interviews. There are a lot of times where like imposter syndromes and things like that. There are all these little strategies that I noticed through my one-on-ones that people are kind of neglecting. They only think about the pure like technical aspects of how to get a job, but they're not doing like the prep work or the kind of like the side work that you need to consider before before getting those interviews and things like that. So like overall, I do want to build a course kind of more revolved around that, but we'll see. How many lives have I done? Maybe like 2 or 3, not too many. I'm not a big live guy because generally I have other things I need to do. But yeah, someone else like it's a good mix. Like a lot of YouTubers have either recommended or don't recommend it. But for now, you know what? I do enjoy the community, and we'll see what happens. $10K, I got my brother. Thank you, appreciate it. We're gonna blow out 10K out of TechRally. I got 20 minutes. DM me the link to. I'll pop in. You want to pop in? Yeah, let's have a conversation. Let's see. How do I do this? Copy to the clipboard. Yeah, but you said that you can't DM you. You said no DMs. What am I supposed to do? No, I'm kidding. I'll send it to you right now. Oh. Well, this live stream is getting a little exciting, isn't it? But if Danny joins our live stream, does that mean I lose a viewer? And I need those watch time hours. Dang, it's 12:30 in the East Coast, yo. We up late. It's a late night stream. Yeah, exactly. I just went from 11 to 10. Danny's not even watching my stream anymore. Just kidding. Hey, Gabriel, did I miss your question? I feel like I might have missed your question. Let me scroll up. Let's see. Yes, this one. Oh, no, I did talk to you. I did answer that one. Okay, yeah. There's a specific recruiter that that's really popular. I just added him on LinkedIn. Where did I DM'd you on Discord, I think. I don't see you. The skills that I'm good at. So I suck at backend development. I know how to build APIs and whatnot, but in general, I really like front end development, specifically HTML, CSS, React. Yeah, I mean, React development has been really good to me. Doing front end using vanilla JavaScript has been pretty good for me as well. Generally JavaScript. I think about learning Go, but I have no reason to learn it. So I think that's kind of like why I don't need to. But I got the man, the myth, the legend. He's here. Hey,
I'm here.
Yeah. Man, why are you still awake, my brother?
Honestly, putting in a lot of work. I'm a very firm believer in not confusing being busy with achievement. And I try to make my hours count when I utilize them. And I basically agreed to do a whole series for Black History Month, showcasing like phenomenal people of color in tech. And they gave me like an interview series to interview some people. So like Kelsey Hightower, Angie Jones, all those amazing people in the tech Twitter space and things like that. And it's not for my channel, it's for another one, but I agreed to help out because I really like what they're doing. And it's awesome. So I just finished editing those videos for them because they're a nonprofit, and I don't want to charge them anything. So knocked that out for them, and now we're on time to hit all those videos. And now I'm just basically, I saw you come on, so I said, let me go ahead and check out, what you're doing. And I figured I'll jump on and, talk with you a little bit. And, there's some things that you're doing with your channel that I like, and some things that I think we can improve. And you said you want to hit 10K this year, and I think 10K is too small. We should aim bigger, and, let's make those moves to make it happen.
Yeah, dude. And I already see Coding Face already flaming at me right now for not sending him a link. But you know what, bro? You didn't ask.
Send them a link if you want. Yeah, send them a link.
Yeah, let's do it. That's really cool. I think a lot of people are already familiar with your story, but I'm curious about how you deal with burnout. Do you believe in burnout?
Mhm. Absolutely. So I'm a very big believer in you should listen to your body and respond accordingly. When you work, work. When you rest, rest. But I would rather you pull back and rest than push forward and then have to recover. Burnout is insanely real. And when you burn out, you don't know if this is a weekend that's required to rest and recover, or a week, or a month. And just taking a couple days could genuinely like alleviate all that pressure. Why would you push yourself to that level to burnout? And then maybe you need a month or two before you actually give a damn and want to be back doing what you're doing. So
Yeah.
there's no point in jeopardizing the long-term potential of your future. Pull back, rest, take that time. But then once you rest, make sure you're ready to hit that ground running again.
Yeah, I think like this whole like hustle culture is so interesting to me, and that's kind of one thing I noticed with like I talked to actually Dorian today for my sharing developer stories. I'm definitely
Mhm.
gonna post that in a few weeks, but he was talking about how you just there's a lot of you want to you get that taste of success, whatever that may be, and then you just want to keep going and going and going at it, but it's tough at times. And something like, even with my YouTube stuff, like we all have like full-time jobs, and then we're trying to balance out this like YouTube whatever this is, and at the same time it's just like, man, I just want to take a break or just like breathe a little bit. And it's a tough one. And I always see like you're always working, right? So I'm like, when does this guy ever rest, if at all?
For me though, it's different, and to put this in like terms that make sense, right? So I'm not a big fan of hustle culture. I,
Hmm.
I I think that's one big disconnect between, and I talked about this today actually. I think that's one really big disconnect between I want to achieve something and then I just want to work nonstop. Because I would rather you use full focus for 20 hours a week and actually make movement than for you to spend 80 hours a week spinning in circles. Because
Yeah.
most of the time when people are hustling, they're really working in circles and they're like, man, I worked all day. But what did you actually achieve by working all day? You worked 10 hours. Did you get the same effect of working 10 hours? Or did you really work an hour and a half and you f***ed off for the other 6.5? Like, what
Yeah.
did you do to quantify 10 hours worth of work? Because I know what I can produce if I put 10 hours of full focus and work. And then I can know what I can produce if I use 2 hours and I pull back the other 6 and I just don't touch it at all. Right.
Mm.
So if you're working, make it count. That's why a lot of people think I'm crazy when I do like Pomodoro techniques when it comes to coding and working. Like I'll
Mm.
take 25 minutes of just full focus. The entire world is dead to me. Nothing matters for 25 minutes.
Right.
I'm just producing output, right? And then for 10, 15 minutes, whatever it may be, I'm out the door. I'm walking around, I'm playing with my kid, I'm doing whatever it may be. But when I'm here, nothing stops me from doing what I'm doing. And once I'm away, I enjoy the world and everything else a part of it. But when I'm working, I'm working. When I rest, I rest.
Do you have like how do you measure goals? Oh yeah, sorry. How do you
So,
measure like your goals or your success for that week? Do you do like monthly goals? Do you have like yearly goals? How do you evaluate your goals?
so for me, I'm a very, very, very big believer in using index cards. And when I have a goal, I write that goal down on an index card. In between my computer right here, I have a TV right behind it, and I have a wall there. And on that wall, I tape all my goals. And I'm a very big believer in making your goals so big, like so astronomically big, that you get excited by them, right? Like it
Yeah.
just has to really make you get excited. Dennis Ivy's in here. Wow. So
What a great group.
yeah. So when I get excited by that goal, it makes me want to continue going after it. But if your goals are so small that you're just like, okay, I have to do this to get to, that's not exciting. It doesn't make like when I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm not like, oh man, I woke up at 4 o'clock. Let me get started on this. I'm like, okay, I'm up at 4. My family wakes up at 7. It's given me 3 hours to get 3 hours closer to my dream.
Hmm.
That's what makes me excited to stay on this path. And so for me, I have these huge goals written. For example, I had one goal written on my wall where I wanted to give $1,000 in learning resources to Black Girls Code. And at that time, for me, $1,000 is a lot of money. Like, I'm not a company. I don't have $500,000 to do like tax deductible donations, right? Like, this is money that quantifies and means something to me. So when I finally was able to get that, oh man, like that was a goal of goals that was hit. When I was able, like for example, I had the goal to be on the Code Newbie podcast. And what's funny is I literally not DM them, but tweeted at them in March of 2020, basically when I started Twitter, right? And I didn't have any followers, no following, no nothing. And they basically, in not so many words, were basically saying, you know, like you're not really popular or whatever to be on this thing. And I understood it. And I literally tweeted at them. I took a screenshot of it. And I said, I'm going to do enough good to end up on this podcast. Because that podcast, when I was learning how to code, was everything to me. I was listening to it when I was working. I'd be frying chicken and have my headphone in, and I'm listening to the podcast. Like, it was my like real, like, it let me know the path existed. And I grew up big enough, and I had that on my index card for like 9 months. And I finally reached out to them again, and I said, look, I really, I think I've done more than enough to end up on this podcast. Let's have a conversation. And so they said, we're not really looking for guests right now. And we built up that tweet kind of went semi-viralish to where they're like, okay, like you're influencing this. Like, okay, sure. Like, we're going to get you on. It ended up being there out of 14 seasons. To this day, it is their most popular episode they ever released.
Really?
14 seasons. Oh, it beat it by a ton. Like, it beat it so much that they were like, we want to do something again, but we don't know how. They have like another podcast, and I forget what it's called, that we may end up doing it or something. I don't know. But I'm on a podcast. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, there's like this the hustle culture might be different from what you're doing. And I noticed this with a lot of people that actually have kids. And it's like compartmentalizing the little time that you actually have to do the work you need to do, right? So I was talking to Dorian. Dorian was like, yeah, my wife, she says from like 9 p.m. till like 1 a.m., that's my time to build videos. Other than that, work from 9 to 5, and then from 5 to 9 is family time. And then that little pocket of time is where you can like take the most advantage. I feel like someone like me that doesn't have kids, I have a girlfriend, but it's not the same. Like, I get lazy. I like play games, then I make videos. But it's. I feel like when you know that this time is so limited, and you actually value that time as much as you do, you're like, okay, I have to do it here. Otherwise, like, my goals aren't going to be hit. So
you have something. So I give a lot of public speeches. I speak at like Fortune 500 companies, universities, etc. You have something that essentially is the same as many other people, and that's you don't make it a priority. You say, I want to do this, I want to do that, but for you, like you just said, I play games. You've already declared in some way or another that the game is a priority to you. Like, this is something I'm going to do. I'm a gamer. I'm going to play this game. Blah, blah, blah. But when you make something a priority, instead of just saying, oh, I really want to do that, your wants don't ever get met, right? When you say, I want to do this, I want to do that. Sure, I want to lose weight. I'm still pretty damn fat right now, right? Like, I want to do something versus I'm going to do this. Like, my job is a priority. I go to my job, even though on the days that I don't technically want to be there that day, right? Like, maybe I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or maybe I'm just not in the mood or whatever. But I go there because it's a priority.
Yeah.
I take care of my kid because it's a priority. I spend time with my family because it's a priority.
Yeah.
When I make it a priority, nothing in the universe is stopping. It needs to be done. So until you take that classification of I need to grow my channel, or I need to grow my following, or I need to grow the viewership on these videos, and you change it from I want to do this, like my goal is to do this, to I'm going to do this. Yeah. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to succeed at this. I'm going to make this real. I'm going to make it a priority. Then it will be.
No, I completely agree. And that's something that, I'm okay with sharing, in a sense that sometimes I feel like the times that I was most successful in anything I did was when there was a fire under my butt, whether it's like quitting my job, making $0 a year, and I went to a coding bootcamp school. Because you know what? There is no fallback, right? In a sense, like having a job is like safe. And then, you know, like all the other time that you do have, you're like, "Ah, like, I don't want to do this, but I know I have to do this because this is something that, like you said, I'm going to do this." So that's kind of a lot where my mentality has changed. Obviously, you know, like you got to take your breaks. And that's kind of one thing that I
Mhm.
will be perfectly okay with. Like for me, playing games is not something that's like, oh, it takes up 5 hours of my time. And, but at the same time, what I really appreciated about me being like unemployed for 3 weeks, I kind of saw a lot more potential of what's what's capable of what I can do with my YouTube channel. Cause I know that, to your point, like I was trying to make content and I was making content, but the quality of the content sometimes wasn't quite there because, you know, maybe my camera angle wasn't that good, or like my
Mhm.
my mic quality wasn't that good. But to me, it was all about, to your point, like I need to make this content, even if it is good or bad. But now that I had these 3 weeks to be like, okay, I could like fine tune this a little bit. I could actually spend some quality time thinking about my channel versus just pumping out content for my channel without a real goal. I could already see like the huge changes already. So I'm like pretty excited about, yeah, I'm going to be working full time starting next week. But at the same time, now I
Congratulations.
know, oh, thank you so much. Yeah. And I'm really excited about that. But obviously, you know, like time is the most valuable thing that you have. So how you actually compartmentalize it or like dedicate that time is super
Mhm.
important. So I completely agree in that sense. So.
One thing I'll tell you as far as like video making and things like that, because obviously my channel to some degree is still new, but I've done so much research into a lot of the algorithms. I mean, for my channel to grow the way it's grown in a short period of time, my problem is the severe lack of time. Like, I just have so many things going on that I can't even produce videos. Like, what's funny is I grew the most in like September, October, November, December, because for my job, the winter season is the slowest. I had all this free time. Like December, I did like 10 live streams. I pushed out a bunch of videos, but and my channel grew exponentially. Like I grew 4,000, 3,000 subscribers every single month, right?
Right.
But it took me 65 videos before I had the first video that went over like 1,000 views on the first day. It took me 65 videos to actually realize this is the way a video should be presented. This is the way I should make my hook. This is the way I should do my thumbnails. This is the way that I should present my titles. Like, and I started doing keyword research and things like that. That's when everything started coming.
Mhm.
I think like Gabriel says, I'll come back and watch the recording tomorrow. 10K in no time. Absolutely agree.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think one thing with you, because I'm just like going through your channel, I think like your biggest thing that you need to do right now is focus on thumbnails. Like I
Oh yeah.
think so for me, like you know, I've been running with this for a little while and so far it's been working. I think thumbnails with no words to as little words as humanly possible to perform the best. And here's why. The thumbnail's what you're viewing, right? The title's what you're reading. You don't want to read the thumbnail, then read the title. And then a lot of times, what we were doing is putting the title in the thumbnail, thinking that's what they're reading, but they're reading the title. When they're reading the same thing twice, they kind of lose interest already.
Yeah.
So your title should be your title. Your thumbnail should have no words, but it should explain to some degree either one speaking point that you have in the video, or it should be one thing related to the concept of the title. So it's like that hook that gets them to click. And the other thing is, I think within the first 5 seconds of the video, that is your highest point of holding that viewer longer. They
Yeah.
make the decision right there. Because this is things that I notice in my own habits, right? Like
Mhm.
I was like clicking on videos and I just started monitoring how I click on a video. What do I do? And a lot of times, like I'll click on a video and right away I'm like, oh, this is wasting my time. And I click on the next related video, whatever it
Right.
may be, right? So what I started doing is in the first 5 seconds, I describe exactly what's happening in the video. I describe the exact concept. For example, let's say I said in the video, like, okay, here are 3 interview tips that will get you a job fast in tech. I'll reiterate that at the beginning, like saying, in this video, you're going to learn the 3 tips that get you a job in tech. Tip number 1, boom, right there. I've got them the hook. I've got them past that 5-second interval. And now they're more than likely to watch more of my video than less.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely know that thumbnails are something I need to really improve on. I'm not gonna say it's really hard because I obviously it requires a lot of research, but I definitely would love to bounce off ideas and see what sticks and what doesn't. I found like I've been trying to transition into these thumbnails where they're kind of like similar, like in terms of like the formatting and things like that. And I thought that those have been better than what I was before because I was trying like these like sideways, like I don't know, like different color side like text, and then my face on the right side. But I noticed that everyone has some very like different types of thumbnails, and I've been trying to experiment. Like even with the videos, like zooming in and zooming out, like while you're having like that conversation is like
Mhm.
something that I've noticed as well. So a lot of videos I'm watching, I'm taking notes. It's hard, but I definitely enjoy doing that research now. But yeah, I would love to hear more about it, maybe offline about what kind of improvements I can have for that aspect.
Yeah, we can talk about it because you know I think for the most part, like even just looking at your channel, like your most viewed thumbnails are like, for example, the most viewed one is view tutorial number 8. But if you
Yeah,
notice, why does like view tutorial number 9 the views drop off? Why does 7 drop off? Because it's the exact same iteration of the exact same thing. So,
yeah,
for
like there's no
example, if it were to
variation between the yeah, but in my defense, at that time, like I obviously didn't know what the hell I was doing with YouTube,
right,
and
right.
a lot of the early videos is something that and I'm not sure if I ever explained like why I created my channel was like I just had this fear of talking in front of a camera and then posting it online and having people actually hear me talk. So like what went from like a fear of doing something turned into a actual enjoyment, and then I transitioned into like wow, I could now I want to be able to talk in front of a camera. So if you notice like the quality of my first videos were so bad, and like it's just like you're learning from your mistakes and making the iterations. And obviously even the having that YouTube Discord group has been like super helpful for me
Yeah.
because like I take a lot of good notes of all the people like like kind of paving the way for me to like kind of get a lot of that information. So it's always much appreciated for sure.
And answering like one comment in the thing, interesting about that thumbnail, I've seen bigger YouTubers with words on theirs. You may have, but how many words have you seen? Did you see 2 words, 3 words, 4 words, or did you see full on run on sentences? I think that is the biggest point of this. You're so what was that stat? It was a person spends like literally a fraction of a second scrolling. Like think about that. Just think about it from your own situation. When you're scrolling, you have a fraction of a second, like you're deciding whether you're going to watch that video or not, right? Just look at your own habits. Are you inspecting a full thumbnail, the full title, everything, or are you making a very quick decision to say, "Oh, I should probably check this out"? Because if you think about it, when you're on your home feed, for example, how many videos are on there that you're deciding, okay, I need to watch this one video. Like you have maybe 20 options, right? And you're deciding on one video. Yeah. So I thought you were saying you don't have any. No, no. The goal should be to have as few words as possible to no words. Those are the ones that have the highest CTR, the click versions. But there will still be some outliers depending on the subject. And controversy obviously is a big uptick, like clickbait titles and things like that. I hate doing clickbait. I know they
Yeah.
do well, but like I could instantly make a video tomorrow that says boot camps are the worst, and that's going to get a ton of views because self-learners want that self-reliance and that self-feeling of like, oh, I made the right decision by not going. And then the boot campers are going to come like, hey, I went to a boot camp, how dare you disrespect boot camps? So you're going to get both people there. The controversy is going to bring views. I'm not really too big into that, but it works.
Yeah, and
Like
that's kind
that's
of
one thing about YouTube. Go
yeah,
ahead.
at the end of the day, it is YouTube is like an entertainment platform, and I've tried to kind of start incorporating a little bit more my voice because I realized when I first tried to do more like videos of showing my face and talking about it, I was kind of like reading from a script. So a lot of times my voice is very it suddenly starts getting deeper, and like I could totally tell I'm
Mm.
just reading from a script. So I think if anything, I'm just learning to be more myself and talking in front of a camera more naturally because
Do you
yeah,
script
like I
your
said, I was
videos?
very shy. Excuse
Do you
me?
script your videos?
Yes, I do actually.
Oh wow.
But it's been more like ad hoc as I script them because like there are a lot of things I want to talk about and make sure I want to hit all of those points. So a lot of times I think scripting was just an easier way to make sure like I get everything going. But now these days I kind of like transition into like my own version at times, you know. So like it's something I'm learning, and I kind of like it. Do you not script your videos?
I've never scripted anything, but like
Nice.
one thing, like I will say, it probably makes my recording process a little bit longer. But so for it's also my style of speaking that I find to be most effective. I don't suggest that for everybody. I was just curious about that. But for me, like when I over prepare my speeches, it never helps me in like that passion that grabs the attention of the person that's listening, right? Like when I give these talks to several hundred people or whatever it may be, right? It's hard to grab that attention when I feel like it's a cookie cutter like re-recited thing over and over and over, or especially when I get bored with the topic and I'm like, I'm just saying it because I know it's a talking point, but I don't feel like it grabs them, right? And I like to play with my tones, I like to play with my speech, but that comes from a natural place. So when I over prepare that, I feel like it doesn't deliver and convey the message in the way that I want to.
Yeah.
And when I speak, it doesn't grab them. But I also feel like I may re-record the same thing several times because I'm saying, okay, like I'll talk in circles a little bit because that one point didn't hit the way I wanted it to hit, but I don't remember what I said. So now I'm going on to a new point. So
I mean, that's the hardest part about like going off your own, like just what you're feeling and what you're doing. But I noticed the reason why I do a script too is because I tend to overuse the word like or so and a lot. So it's good for me. It's just good to have that like kind of script so I could just make sure.
Like this is a video that I'm making now. The only thing I'll do is research the title. Oh, you can probably see this.
I
I'll
can kind of see
research
it's like this post-it note, right?
Yeah. So I'll research the title to see which variation gets the most like searches. And then I'll write down like maybe like a point or two, like in case I lose track, I can be like, okay, I need to make sure I hit this thing. And it works so far. We got a private chat.
Yeah, we got a coding phase. Let's add him in. Hey, check.
Yo.
You don't even know coding phases in here. It's popping, kids.
TechRally, change the layout so that way we all can be a little bit better visible. There we go.
That way.
There, yeah, it's much better.
There you go, kids.
I was just trying to make sure we all look skinnier. You know, like this layout. Yeah, we good.
Nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
What's going on, Coding Phase? Mr. Lux Agency, Mr. CodingPhase.com, Mr. We out here.
We out here, kids.
We out here.
Hey man, what up? I'm just listening to you guys. You guys are legit, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for leading the way, dude.
Now I'm just,
man.
I said I'm gonna let them talk and you know get what they gotta say off and be good, you know. And I said, you know what? Let me swim by. Here.
Absolutely.
It's funny because I mean, I'm just gonna share a little conversation. Me and Coding Phase had a conversation. He's like, let me just give you one advice. Don't do live streams. And then I literally did a live stream the next day.
No, the reason why I tell you that it was like, okay, there's two things that you have to keep in mind. What is it that you want out of YouTube? Because I don't know exactly like what you that's something that only you can answer, right?
Yeah. And Danny was saying the same thing. Yep.
Yeah. So it's like, I'll tell you the truth. Like, if you want to get a deaf ad success, you can't do live streams. If you want a Coding Phase success, then you do live streams. If you want a Danny Thompson success, then you would do live streams, right? And the reason why I mentioned Def Ed is because Def Ed, he has great content, but it's not really up to him to create like a live stream. It's more of like the algorithm. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, if you like, let's say you have 1,000 subscribers right? And YouTube goes in and says, okay, we gotta notify everybody. TechRally's live, and only 5%, 10% of the people click on it. Then YouTube goes in and start removing those people out of your notifications, and that happens all the time. You get what I'm saying? Like sometimes we might not have like, I see Danny Thompson. Danny Thompson has even, sometimes even higher numbers than me on a live stream. But you also have to understand, Danny Thompson has like he's lit on Twitter. Like he's lit. Like he'll drop like, yo, I'm on McDonald's on Third Ave and Main Street, and you'll see like everybody in there,
This
right?
dude.
So he already has a huge following from there, so people's gonna click on it. But YouTube is a different animal, so that's why I told you that. I mean, you
Yeah.
could do whatever you want. It's just up to you, like what route you want to go to. So that's why I give you that advice. You could
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
and I think for me right now, I mean, and just as full transparency, I mean, live stream is fun, first of all, and then second,
Yeah.
I have like a watch time hour issue, and I was talking to
Mhm.
Dorian about my issue, and he was saying live streams helped him a lot in that category because like you have 10 people watching for 2 hours. Yeah, you got 20 hours right there. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what I'm just like learning a little bit about this game. It's like, how do I get
Mhm.
that watch hour up a little bit? That's the tough part.
Yeah, definitely.
Or pump out more content. Like it's one or the other, right?
Yeah,
I will say, it's definitely awesome to have a live stream because the watch hours match up. And of course, that should be your first milestone to hit that monetization area, right?
Yeah.
I still remember when I hit it, and that was just like last month I hit it. And I mean, I hit it and I was beyond the moon, right? But it's
Yeah.
cool. Like when you have 60 people on a live stream, every minute they watch is an hour, right? So like that's definitely a doable, reasonable goal. But one thing I'll say, so my thing is like how I grew on Twitter, how I grew on LinkedIn, how I grew on YouTube. I study the algorithm. Like the algorithm is something that I pay attention to. I don't necessarily think live streaming is bad. Here's the caveat. Your live stream has to have a distinct purpose.
Yeah.
My live streams that were coding specific things, some of my highest conversion for subscribers, for view duration. Like I have one live stream. They're all my live streams are private now, but I have one live stream where the average view time is 28 minutes per user. Like that's insanity to me, number one. But when you start a very distinct project with a distinct goal, people want to see the finished product. So they stick around for a long period of time. They're not hopping off and hopping on, but they'll also come rewatch that live stream later. But if it's just a Q&A, you may have them stick around for a couple minutes, they pop off, and when they pop off very short, what happens? YouTube hates you. The algorithm hates you. So in my opinion, talking live streams hurt your channel. But a live stream with a distinct purpose of education, for example, because that's what you want to be known as, an educator in the tech space, you need to have a very specific goal in mind, and that will keep your viewers. It makes YouTube algorithm love you more, and it grows the channel.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think, it kind of makes sense in that sense. I do agree with that. Like, I'll give you a good example. Like, let's say, for example, you come in and you say, hey, guys, we're going to be live and we're going to build a landing page. Okay? So now the person already knows what they're getting themselves into. So they're clicking on it and they're watching. Okay, you're building a landing page live. People get to chat on there. And at the same time, they could always come back because it becomes a video. And then it's like, it's a live stream with a purpose, right? So you could go in there, that video or that live stream becomes a video, and then from there you could go in and pretty much monetize that same live stream to become a video and do everything. And there's a huge, watch time on it. It's just like I've noticed from, I've been doing this since probably 2009. Like most people don't even know. Like I had other channels where I had like 250K subscribers. Like I've been doing like YouTube for a very long time. And that's one of the reasons why I was so scared to create like a programming channel. Same way how you are right now, where you're like, oh man, I'm kind of scared to like drop a video, or I'm scared of like my voice or things like that. Like I already knew that, especially in like the tech world, because it's so, everybody could be so critical. Like somebody could come in and be like, oh, you don't know how to do this, or this other guy could come in and do the same thing that you're doing live, but he'll do it in 30 seconds or 5 seconds. So that put pressure on you where you're like, man, I need to be on time, like every single time that you go live. But I learned over time that it's like, it all
Drown out the
depends on
noise.
what you
Yeah.
want to do with it. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? It all depends on what you want to do with it. And that's like one question that I have for you since we're live. Like, what do you want out of YouTube? Like
Yeah. I mean,
Danny
I think
already
that,
kind of asked you
yeah.
that, but it's like, what do you really want out of YouTube? What's your goal? Do you want to build a business? Do you want to be a YouTuber? Do you want to be an influencer? Do you want to be just a guy sharing his story on YouTube? Do you want to create a service, create a platform? Because there's different roads for that. It's like
Right.
somebody can go in and give you the great advice, but they might give you a great advice for an influencer, or somebody might come in and give you a great advice for a business owner, or somebody might come in and give you a great advice for affiliate marketing, right? Like there's
Yeah.
a lot of guys that create content. Like if you look in the tech space, there's a lot of guys that create amazing content, but it's really for being able to sell a product. So it all depends on what you want out of this whole thing.
Well, let me ask you guys this question. Like at 1,300 subscribers, did you guys know what you wanted out of your channel?
Like
I knew I had a clear idea for what I wanted.
okay, for me, I didn't even know. Like if you go back to my first video, I was like probably nobody knew me. It's like a blue room, a fucking me on a laptop. When I was renting a room, I was like living with fucking roommates and shit like that. And I was like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know if I want to share this story with anybody, but I just wanted to put it out there. Like, hey, if you're like me, shit, you could do this too. So I didn't
Yeah.
know. Like, I feel like a lot of guys, like even Danny, like Danny could come in and he has I'm not trying to put words into your mouth, Danny, my fault. But I feel like the road has already been paved in the sense of you kind of have an idea like what you want to become. When I
Yeah.
came into the game, there was no examples, right?
No.
Like I'm talking about 3-4 years ago, where there wasn't nobody with the same road as me or the things that I wanted to become or anything. I just didn't know. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like now you as TechRally coming in 2021, right? You have a lot of different roads and a lot of different examples that you could say, you know what, I like this from this channel, I like this from this other channel. I could go in and model myself like them, or I could take a little bit from here, a little bit from there, and create your own flavor, right? But when I came in, I didn't have nobody. There wasn't really
Yeah.
like nobody who was doing this. It was like a whole bunch of guys creating tutorials where nobody showed their face. Nobody knew if they had a family. Nobody knew if they even had kids. Nobody even knew if they were self-taught or they had a degree, did the computer science, did they went to a boot camp. Nobody knew anything. So it
Yeah.
was like uncharted waters. So for me, it was a little bit harder because I didn't know what I wanted to become. I just said, you know what? I just want to show an example. Like what happens with a Dominican shows up on the internet. He's like, hey, I code too. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. And I you know what? To your point, I'm very, very blessed to have people that, ask me these types of questions because I'm the type where I've met a lot of people where they say, I'm going to do this. And then, they say a lot of things, but at the end of the day, they don't actually do it. And I don't like being that kind of person where I don't want to say something that I personally can't accomplish. But at the same time, I put like my own bamboo ceiling where I never say anything that I actually want to do because I'm afraid of like I might fail about it, right? So I like to make sure like I'm doing the work on the sidelines, but at the end, like not having that ultimate goal or knowing what that ultimate goal is sometimes that could actually like make you lose motivation. And I think with YouTube, it's very interesting, like when compared to being a software developer, because at least when you're learning how to code, you know what the ultimate goal is, right? Like you want to be a software developer. But with YouTube, there's just like so many creative outlets that, to your point, affiliate, niche websites, products as a service, there's so many different areas that you could tackle. And ultimately, my goal, and it's kind of on my YouTube banner, is helping aspiring and new developers break into tech. And how I do that is something that I'm still trying to figure out. I'm not as passionate about like doing like tutorials too much, or like building courses on HTML, CSS, or backend Node or things like that. What I'm starting to notice, and Danny, you might see this a lot too, which are like coaching and one-on-one that you do with these people. It's like there are people that graduate from a coding bootcamp, or there are people that self-taught, but they still can't seem to land that first job, right? Like, what are they actually doing wrong? And whenever I talk to these individuals, there are different types of flavors, but at the end of the day, it's kind of the same thing. Like, they don't have a portfolio, or they do have a portfolio, but all of their portfolios go to websites on like a .heroku domain. And then they also don't pay for dynos. So like, it's super slow. It's like all these like little subtle things that, you know, people, we as developers know, but like they don't know that like recruiters are looking at this. Or like you look at all these you look at a portfolio site and then you see their projects, but it all goes to their GitHub, right? Like all of those like little like tips and tricks that you need to let new and aspiring developers know, like, hey, this isn't what you should do. Invest a little bit of money into this. Or like when you come into an interview, I've seen junior developers sulk and talk about what they don't know instead of telling me what they do know. So like even like having the proper mindset of coming into an interview with what you want to talk about, how do you project yourself to say like, you should take a chance on me, because that's kind of like the situation that you're in. So obviously, like originally I kind of wanted to do like that one-on-one coaching, but it kind of hits like a capacity. I know like Danny has like the no DMs, right? No DMs, because it is too hard to have catered dedicated attention for each person, unless like they're just going to give you a lot of money. So if I do build a course, and like that's kind of what I'm envisioning long term, is building a course where I could help transition going from I'm ready to start looking for a job to actually getting that first job. And it doesn't necessarily have to be coding. It could be something about mindset, resume, portfolio, GitHub, everything like that. Yeah.
I'll tell you this, honestly, like in the beginning, especially with Twitter, like I had like, you know, so when I started in March of 2020, I had like 300 followers, right? And at March, that's basically when I said, okay, I'm going to take this seriously for just 2 months. Just 2 months. I just want to see what damage, what impact, what like movement in this area I can commit, because I had saw a gap, and it was basically the gap that you're talking about. And I was helping people in my local community land jobs in tech. But when I look on Twitter, all I see is I can't get a job. I can't get a job. I can't get a job. And so I was like, oh, well, if what I do works in Memphis, right? Because in Memphis at that time, I'd helped over 70 people land their first jobs in tech. Now I've helped several hundred people land their first jobs in tech in just like the 9 months I've been on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, like let me just see what happens. And then 300 became 1,000 by April 1st. I took a screenshot, and Walker, who's like one of my closest friends in Memphis, he was in the little Slack group that I sent this screenshot to. I was like, oh, I hit 1,000 in a month. And everybody's like, well, you know, 1,000, you know, you did something. That's cool. By from April 1st to May 1st, I was at 12,000. From May 1st to June 1st, I was at 30,000. I hit 30,000 followers in 3 months. And I realized then, I was like, okay, I'm taking, like, what I can do in Memphis, I can only do physically when I'm here, right? But if I put this content online, the way to control an interview, the way to fix up your LinkedIn profiles, the way to actually display your portfolio site, creating projects that actually like you can talk about in an interview. And then now, like I'm teaching at a boot camp, so I'm teaching them the exact same things. And I'm like, I have this curriculum. Our boot camp is completely free. How do I help people that aren't in our location? Because it's a location-based boot camp, right? The government pays for it by grants by you living in this area. So if you're not here, the government won't pay. They can't put the content online. It's like, what if I put this content out and basically help people wherever they may be, getting them from A to B to a full stack degree without spending $20,000 to achieve that? Because I put out a poll the other day, right? And of that poll, over 20% of the people that took that poll attended a boot camp, and they spent over $20,000 attending a boot camp. Well, what if we can save that 20 grand? We get you to that full stack area, and now you have the disposable income and money to spend on mentorship from mentors wherever they meet. You don't got to do that for me. I'm not in this for the money. I don't really care about the money literally at all. That's why I don't offer mentoring sessions. But now, if you could take that money, let's say you just take $5,000. Do you know how much like mentorship time you could buy off codingmentor.io with $5,000? Like, you can literally have senior developers at, like, you know, some of the most prestigious companies that we dream about working at mentor you for $5,000, and you stay 15 grand from going to a boot camp and you learned everything. So I genuinely believe that, like, that niche of helping people, it definitely works. But I think you have to be very laser focused on what you're pinpointing and talking about, because the topics can become repetitive and dry. Because how many times can you say, hey, my portfolio site, hey, my portfolio site, a portfolio site? You need to add some flavor, because you can eat steak every day, and by the 15th day, you're sick of it, right?
Like I was really tempted to even just make a video of like how you become a developer, and literally it's just be saying practice, 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 and then just like find that Allen Iverson clip and then just say practice. You're talking about practice and not about the game, you know? But it's so true. It's like, how else do you be a software developer? You gotta code. I mean, there's this like, oh, what 5 languages, what 10, you know, like it's good video, it's and everything, but I have a hard time making those type of contents, because I want, my stuff may be a little dry, and maybe it is about like the execution, but I want to create content that's actually like kind of valuable. So that's why I made that video about the 2,100 plus recruiters that you can like cold call on LinkedIn, because we say like, try to talk to recruiters, but it's like, how do I find recruiters? I have no idea. So like I try to make content. They're there.
But you know, some recruiters, like, it's really almost like speed dating. You need to genuinely take your time finding one that actually gives a damn about you. Because I can tell you, like, even me, I deal with recruiters all over the country at this point, and I do my due diligence with them because I have strict rules in who I deal with. Because I send them a lot of business, a lot of candidates, but my rule is, even if you can't help someone, you must spend time with them to help them at least understand why they aren't marketable now and what they can do to be marketable in this industry. If they fail to do that, I cut them off, because that's part of the deal. Like, I'll feed you all the talent in the world, but if you're treating them like shit, then there's no point of us even. I just cursed on the live stream. You just got demonetized. But like,
Funny Face cursed like maybe an hour ago, or like 20 minutes ago. I think at this point we're it's a GG. But hey, special shout out to Esther Park. That's my girlfriend. So love that you are so supportive of each other. Great men lifting each other up. Yeah, I tell her about you guys all the time. Like, man, like, these people, they're way ahead of the game. I'm like, they're teaching me so much stuff, so I really appreciate it. So
shout out to Esther. You already know what it is. Keep supporting TechRally. He needs it out here. You know what I mean? And
New York isn't cheap, man. Y'all left.
Man,
sunnier and cheaper areas.
No, definitely. You know, if you don't mind me going into, you know, as far as like, you know, freaking recruiters and all of that. Like, I'll be honest, I have a top 3 recruiters that I could go in and decide, you know what, man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do my business. I don't want to do anything. And if I decide I want to go back to work, I have the numbers. I have the personal numbers. Those are people that take care of me. Now, I come from a different world, like, in the sense of, you know, a lot of people that pop up here on YouTube, they do, like, you know, full-time work at a company, right? And they go in, right, etc. Like, I come from the world of contract work, right? Meaning I go into a company 9 months, 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years, and my contract is up, right? And that's something that not a lot of people talk about. But having a relationship with a recruiter is like the ultimate, because if you have that relationship with that recruiter can get you into a lot of companies. Like, I'll be honest, I only got tested one time in my whole career. I've been doing this since 2011. I only got tested one time. Matter of fact, 3 times, but I never count the first 2 because there was Twitter and Tumblr, and I was completely out of my league. It was like people giving me an opportunity. Like I didn't know how to pass the interviews. I didn't know what I was doing. I knew web development, but not how people prepare themselves right now. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
this people testing for freaking algorithms, creating a portfolio. I didn't have no portfolio. I show up to not a boot camp, a meetup. I showed up to a meetup, and those two people came in and said, "Hey, we like you. We'll give you an interview." One was from Twitter, another one from Tumblr. I went in. I failed both of the interviews, but then from there, I went in and actually reached out to a company called Creative Circle. And what they did was they're like a recruiting company, but it's really more a talent agency. So by the time I got to them, I was really prepared, and I really like had a nice portfolio. I had everything that I needed to get a job. And by having that connection with them, they got me into a whole bunch of companies that people wouldn't even imagine. You know what I'm saying? People have to go in and do a whole bunch of interviews. I just show up to the job. Oh, cool. Monday I'm in there. Cool, I'm in there. That's it. I didn't have to do no interviews. I didn't have to do anything. And there's a lot of companies out there that will bring you into major companies just like that. So doing what Danny just said, with LinkedIn and focus on that. There's a lot of people that you might think, oh, this is bullshit. Like, sorry, this is BS. This is BS. Some people might think like LinkedIn is a lot of BS. Nah, bro. There's a lot of recruiters that's in there. I personally haven't used it because when I came into the game, I didn't need LinkedIn, right? In 2021, you might need LinkedIn. So Danny Thompson might be the guy to tell you exactly what you need on LinkedIn. When I started and I got into the game, I didn't need no LinkedIn. I found a company that was a legit recruiters, but I can tell you, man, recruiters are your lifeline. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like recruiters are the ones that you might be a guy that working at a company, and that recruiter, if you have a relationship with them and they find out, like even if you go into a job and they call you up in the a week after, 2 weeks after, like, hey man, how's the job? How's everything over there? Everything is good? How they treating you? How's the onboarding? How's this and that? That's a relationship that you want to build. That's somebody that you want to add to your LinkedIn. You say, you know what? I want to get in touch with this guy, because if anything goes wrong, you always have that guy, and that guy has a whole bunch of jobs lined up just for you. So always listen to Danny and what he's saying as far as like LinkedIn, because there's a lot of opportunities that people miss out in that world. Do you get what I'm saying? So
yeah, I completely agree. I mean, like when I graduated in 2015 from a coding bootcamp, LinkedIn was still popular then, but not to the level that it is now. It's just insane. Like I'm on Clubhouse, and literally every recruiter that talks about their jobs like message me on LinkedIn, tell me your job ID number and things like that. I'm like, man, there are no software developers in this room. It's just a bunch of recruiters talking to recruiters saying that they have jobs, and I'm just like, man, so much knowledge, so much potential jobs here, but it's all through LinkedIn. And yeah, Danny, you want to give that little plug of what kind of course you teach on on LinkedIn?
So,
what is it about? What is it about?
We've covered a lot of things. One thing I always say on LinkedIn, in my opinion, like for example, Twitter is where opportunities may live, but LinkedIn is where money resides. Meaning, so 675 million users are on LinkedIn every single month, of which 90 million are hiring managers, recruiters, and decision makers for businesses, right? You need to stand out where they hang out. It's as simple as that. Like if they hung out at a bar, I tell you go hang out at that bar, right? Well, they're all on LinkedIn. You're doing yourself a disservice by not being. We'll have a chance to talk on that. Hey, send Dennis Ivy a link. He'll join the stream too.
Hey, shout out to my boy Danny.
And we're just having a party here.
This
is a clubhouse room, but on virtual.
but so for LinkedIn, I can honestly tell you, it's 75% of the average users on LinkedIn make more than $80,000 a year, meaning they have the disposable income to spend on whatever it may be. They're the decision makers for roles. They're the ones that are making decisions to put butts in seats. You need to be there. But not only that, not just from like, oh, I need to get a job. You want to do freelancing? You don't have to bid against 1,000 other people in whatever country in the world on Upwork. Upwork and those sites like that, for me, are a race to the bottom. Fiverr, it's a race to the bottom. Your job and objective is to undercut everybody else and yourself to pop up at the top of the list. That's not a way to make money. I'd rather make myself popular on LinkedIn, right? Where I don't have to bid against anyone, right? And I'm taking my pick of jobs. I can tell you right now, in my current point in my life, I have so many offers that I turn down way more offers than I even accept. Like, it's just not physically possible for me to do them all, number one. But number two, I'm a very firm believer in if I don't believe in the product or the company, I don't waste my time or theirs. I think that they can find someone that they're comfortable with dealing with, and vice versa for me. I don't want to do that. The other thing, I also want to touch on kind of what Esther said earlier about everyone like helping each other out. I'm a very firm believer in one quote. The success of someone will never ever ruin yours. Meaning, if TechRally succeeds, it will never ruin my success. If Joe succeeds, it will never ruin my success. And if I succeed, it's probably going to ruin the both of y'all's. Now I'm just playing. Like, it will never, ever, ever ruin someone else's success. There's so much space in this industry for us all to cake off it. Why would you want to sabotage another? If anything, I want to see everyone rise, create their own slice of the American dream pie, whatever you want to call it, and succeed off of it. We can succeed.
Can I cut in real quick? Mm-hmm. My phone. I just want to point this out. Like, you know, one of the realest dudes in here is Danny. You know, like, in the sense of like, even situations where he brought me in, like, I could tell the type of individual he is because, you know, he brought me into certain situations and certain things, invited me to certain things that most people on YouTube wouldn't do. And that told me, I was like, damn, this dude, like, he has no reason. He don't know me from a hole in the wall. Like, he sees I have some type of potential, whatever I do on my channel, whatever I do on my platform. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? Like, he doesn't think in the sense of like how a lot of people's like, oh, this is competition. Like, nah, he comes in just like, oh, this kid, it's nice. I like what he does. I enjoy it. Other people enjoy it. Why not bring him in? Right? And that's something that I respect about him. And that's what I like about him, because he'll bring in anybody, any YouTuber, any programmer. He'll put the same limelight that he would put at a guy that has 1,000 subscribers to a guy who has 200,000 subscribers, 500,000 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Because he understands his place. Nobody can replace him. He already got a place in here in this community. And it's something that a lot of people should learn, that it's like, you got to know your value. You got to know what you're worth. You got to know what spot you hold. Nobody can take you away from that spot. It's like TechRally. Why do I fucks with TechRally? Like, it's the same reason why I wish somebody would have fucked with me. Sorry for demonetized. Would have fucked with me when I came into the game as a 1,000.
We need Billy Ray.
You know what I'm saying? Like 1,000 subscribers, and yeah. I know what I had. I know what I could bring into the table that was completely different than everybody else. And I wish somebody would have saw that in me at that time. And I see the same thing in TechRally. It's the same reason why you see guys like Danny Thompson, you see guys like me, you see Dennis Ivy in here, is because we're not worried about somebody's gonna take my spot. Nobody could do what Danny Thompson does. Nobody could do what Coding Face can do. Nobody can do what Dennis Ivy could do. Nobody could do what TechRally does, right? So we come into this game just like, hey man, you know what we do out here. You know what I'm saying? So we're not worried about it. And that's something that, the reason why I cut you off, Danny, is because I just wanted to point that out. Like, yo, Danny's like a good dude, man. I like him. One, because I relate a lot to him. It's like, it's a dude that was freaking cooking up chicken a couple of freaking years ago, right? And he didn't give up. He knew that this is just a stepping stone. This is where you start, right? But this isn't where you end, right? And at the end of the day, it's things that people need to see. And I like when you go in and you share that to people, because, not everybody's going to come in from an Ivy League school. Not everybody's going to come in from a bachelor's degree from XYZ company or whatever, XYZ university. And sometimes we need more guys that's just like, The day-to-day guy, the guy that was like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Uber driver is like, oh shit, Uber driver just became, it's the headline. Uber
Yeah.
driver becomes CEO of a startup. Yeah, we need that because at the end of the day, anybody can do this if you have the right mindset. So I just wanted to show that, you know what I mean? Show love
No,
to that.
I genuinely appreciate that, and you know what's weird? I'll tell you right now. Like I had an epiphany, I guess, or midlife crisis, whatever, at like 30. And I was always obsessed with the idea of I need to make the most amount of money as possible. I need to be the richest person I could be. I need to take all the money on the table. And I realized at that time where I said, I'm no longer concerned with dying a rich man on my deathbed. What I'm obsessed with now is trying to leave the world in a little bit better shape than the way I found it. Simple as that. That's my only goal now. And to be completely honest with you, I genuinely believe that once I set my mind to something, it's done. Like in my mind, I already see that I'm going to be at 100,000 subscribers. Right? Like it's done. I'm waiting on the rest of the world to catch up to my idea now. Like it's there in my mind. Like it's there. It's done. Nobody can prevent that from happening. Simple as that. Once I set my mind to 1 million, like it's done. It's happening. I already know I'm going to hit that. Jesus could come right now. We would have a conversation. Like simple as that. He would have to really put something up hard to stop that from succeeding. Because the way I see it, once it happens, like once I decide on it, it's done. But for me, in everything like we're talking about here, as far as like, helping others and reaching these goals, like I genuinely believe that, like a prime example, I get asked all the time, like, oh man, this person, they stole your tweet. This person, they stole your tweet. So many people steal my tweets now. And the first time it happened, I ain't gonna lie, like I was hot, right? But then I realized, I said, however someone is hearing my message, that's the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter if it's from me, if it's from somebody else. If they're getting the content, they're getting the value out of it, and it's helping them get from A to B. I don't care where they heard it. It doesn't matter. Maybe I have the words that affect them in a way that gets them where they want to be. So if John down the street copies my tweet, but that same person gets that same effect, that's all that matters. It doesn't, if John gets a little bit of following, that's cool too. I don't care, man. Like right now, like if you see Tech Twitter, everybody copies my style, my tweets. They want to all be motivational speakers. I always tell people, be the most authentic version of yourself, because then you don't have to pretend. What ends up happening is these people, they copy these tweets, they put out these motivational tweets, and then they try to make up their own stuff, and it fails because they don't have that within them. But if you speak from an authentic place, whatever it is, you'll be able to speak about it endlessly. You'll be able to make sure you convey your message to your audience, and you'll get them hooked on you, and they'll follow you to the ends of your career. Like they'll be with you for the whole duration. But when you try to be something that you're not, it'll never convey.
Danny,
and I think that's kind of what attracted. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that's what really attracts me to your channel and even Coding Phases channel. It's just there's that level of authenticity where it's like you don't really care, right? You just tell it like it is, and sometimes the truth hurts. And I think that's one of the main things. Like being a software developer is not easy. But you can't just like handheld. It's not this handheld journey of like La La Land of, oh, I just take a course and I'm gonna be a software developer. There's like levels to, just like there are levels to YouTube and being a YouTube content creator or having your own business and things like that. Like being a software developer is not just like, oh, I'm gonna take this easy course. Life is easy, and we're just gonna, I'm gonna make 100K, right? There are just so many levels to this that, like, I think sometimes I'm not gonna call honest about like this journey, you know what I mean?
Now, I was gonna say two things. I was gonna say, number one, bring the homie Dennis Ivy, sent him a link to the chat on Discord.
He can't join. He can't join.
Oh, he can't join? Limited.
Yeah, he said he can't join.
Oh, that sucks. Now, number two, Danny, how do you deal with when people copy your shit? Like, and I say this because I've been trying to deal with this thing for years. Like, you're coming in now, 2020, But I've been dealing with this since like 2016, 2017, and I'm like, I hate when that happens. Like, and people come in, like I straight up, I could guarantee you probably the majority of people that have over 250,000 subscribers have watched my content, taken it, repackaged it up, and put it out there in some type of way. Now, I've seen it and I get so mad. And then I see you on Twitter, because I see you on Twitter. You're pretty big in there in the community of developers. You might not have 1 million followers on Twitter, but what you say has a lot of ripples, right? So everybody goes in and sees it in some type of way or another. And I see other people that come in, either take your flow, your style, or they might even go in and take your same tweet and switch two words out of the whole thing. And then it's the same tweet. And then they'll blow up with your own content. How do you deal with it?
So I don't mind it. Like the first time it happened, I ain't gonna lie. I was on that tweet. I was tweeting at him. I was messaging like, "Oh, you stole my stuff." First time, I was boiling hot because it never happened to me before. But then I realized something. Red Bull was the very first energy drink ever in the world, right? They were the market leader. They were first to market. They didn't stop. Once people saw that they were successful at it, Monster came, Rockstar came, all these other energy drinks, right? You can always try to make a different version. You could repackage or whatever it may be, but you're not going to, number one, get rid of the market leader in that industry. But number two, it's flattering. It means you did something right. It tells me that I'm doing something right. But the other thing for me, honestly, is my only objective in this space is to help as many people as I can. If they're getting that help from my content, but it's being repackaged by somebody else, it's still the same goal. It doesn't matter if I get the credit or not. What matters is that person was helped. Because here's the thing. Let's say, right now in this live stream that we took over, we have like 15 to 20 people in here, right? Like now, they came for TechRally. They came, I tweeted out the live stream link and all that good stuff, right? Like we had people coming in here, right? It doesn't matter if they stick around and watch TechRally's content. Like they got the same help that they were looking for, right? Like if they come, like let's say Joe's coding phase is like a copy of your channel set this coding phase, right? When they finally stumble upon your videos, they're gonna be like, "Oh man, this dude, he's talking about the kind of stuff that I like." They're gonna follow you too. So it doesn't matter if, like, for example, right now your whole niche is Shopify. I guarantee you, in like 6 months or a year, every other YouTuber is gonna start putting out Shopify content because you put it out, right? Like they're all gonna start jocking Shopify because you started putting out that content. Who cares? As long as they're on Shopify, right? Like there's a million JavaScript developers on YouTube. That's not going to change. JavaScript tutorials are still going to come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I definitely feel you. I always think about like authenticity, and just like it's one of those situations where here on YouTube it's hard to find like authentic YouTubers, right? Because like what I do is I create content from my life, like, and from my experience. So nobody can come in and be like, "Oh, this shit is fake. This shit is this and that." Nah, this is the things that I do in real life, and I just share it in my, on my YouTube channel. But I always get pissed off. Because I'm like, man, like, and then you don't get credit. Like I've seen tweets where I was gonna retweet you, but then I wasn't gonna retweet you on it because I said people do that to me, and they'll tag me on a video of somebody else's channel. Like, yo, they just copy your whole shit, and then I get mad. And I was like, I don't want to mess up his day, and I don't want to retweet it to him because he probably already knows like people do this shit all the time. Right. So I'm like,
I think it's a little different because Danny, your tweets are not necessarily like charged or anything or in some way. And like Joe, I totally get it because like this is your life, man. This is your business, and business. Yeah. It is, you gotta
100%.
make that bread. So I totally can understand the frustration because if I built a course and then someone torrented it and then made it for free. I'll be like, bro,
Yeah, but there's a difference
Bruh.
between torrenting and then there's a difference between repackaging. And
okay,
that's
true.
So like if they were on codingphase.com downloading all that stuff and then like redistributing, that's a different conversation. I'd be pissed as hell. Like that's terrible. But you can't like inspiration repackaging. I mean, it is what it is. Like you're never gonna stop that. Like,
I agree with that.
Red Bull was first to
can't
market,
stop
then
that.
Monster came, Rockstar came. You're not gonna stop the copycats.
Yeah.
What matters is if you stay true to your niche, you will grow that. To be honest, and I think Coding Phase knows this better than anybody else. If he played the game the way it's supposed to be played and the way he knows it needs to be played, he'd be 10 times bigger. Like we all know that. Like Coding Phase, he's real, and the problem is because he's too real, it alienates a section of the audience, and we all know that. Like if he were to put on the polos and play the you know like he would
the Billy Ray channel.
The Billy Ray, if I was to really feed the Billy Ray channel, and it's crazy because it's like it's something that, but at the same time, you know why I don't do it is because at the end of the day, like what you guys are talking to right now this is Joe. This is Joe Santos, right? You haven't met Joseph. Joseph is at the job, right?
Yeah.
But in this niche of programming, tech, entrepreneurship, fucking business, they want to get to Joseph, and it's like I want to prove that you don't need Joseph, you need Joe. You know what I'm saying? Or you could get Joseph and Joe at the same time. So that's the same thing that I'm like I've been trying to prove for a long time, but it's such a disconnect where it's like, okay, cool, maybe I show up with and it's crazy because I've done it before and I've seen the spikes. Like I show up with a button down, a little slack, a little freaking glasses on, hey guys, how you doing? My name is Joseph. Da, da, da. Like it's a completely different feedback, right? But at the same time, I still want to show people like you could be yourself, and maybe this could be a little bit different in the workspace. But at the same time, hey man, I'm just like you. You get what I'm saying? Like that's my whole niche of like I'm just like you. This is what I it's like a friend on YouTube. You get what I'm saying? Like this is me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll tell you. You know what's funny is I was gonna say.
Right.
100%, because a very prime example is a very good friend of mine. I'm not going to say names. Is a very popular person in the tech Twitter space, right? And we talk pretty much every single day. And he let it slip. Well, he didn't let it slip. He tweeted out that even though he's got a very big following, he's like, I'm a junior developer. I don't know it all. Like I'm still there. I'm a junior, right? He lost almost 10,000 followers because of that. Like being too real, because in their mind, they're like, oh, this person has to have all the answers. They know everything. And what ends up happening is when you become
welcome to TechRally. Sorry. Welcome to TechRally. We had the TechRally clone.
Yo, I could do double the work. This is going to be awesome.
But when you become too authentic, that sometimes discourages certain people from following. Because if you're a senior developer and you're following a junior, you're like, oh, well, there's nothing I can gain of value from his perspective. And juniors left him.
Yeah. And Joe, I feel like, in some ways, like you do attract a certain type of people for your subscribers. And you know what? I actually really appreciate that because there's a lot of, people of color just.
I just got something. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. But I was just gonna mention, like, I just feel like there's just not enough representation in tech, and it's
I believe it.
so.
Joe
Sorry, keep going.
I thought you were done studying.
Oh no! I was gonna say even like with and maybe I'm just getting a little like political here with like even Asians. Yeah, there are a lot of Asian software developers, but there's not a lot of like Asian like managers or Asian like director of engineering, because it's just I think sometimes we get pigeonholed into specific types of work, and like even like your story about like fried chicken, and it's like why why is that the narrative that we always kind of hear all the time? So, but at the same time, I'm glad that you mention it, because it's like someone of color, or like someone like me is also doing things like that, and it's just like to know that you can be a software developer. He definitely has like an audience that has that belief to be software developers, because I think a lot of times we have our own self-doubts as saying like, oh, we shouldn't be here, like you're saying, like we shouldn't be software developers because we need to work at these kind of jobs. So it's a tough industry.
I can tell you, I was coming from the gas stations and I was going to these interviews. I had so much imposter syndrome, not because I was like, oh man, becoming a developer is hard. I was going to these meetups, and I'm a very big believer in meetups. I love meetups. They're essential, in my opinion, if you want to grow in this industry, like, or even just to get like your foot in the door. Developers know other developers, and those developers know hiring managers. Like, a referral will be in the works for you if you go to a meetup and you become active in that group. Anyway, I was going to these meetups, and I started realizing, man, I don't match these people that are looking for jobs. They work in offices, they have degrees, they have education, they have experience. I have none of those attributes. So what was I doing? I was helping other people get jobs in tech when I was denying them myself. Because I would go into, I literally was working 80 to 100-hour weeks, right? Like, I was working my ass off, and I was making just enough money to be broke as hell. And I was
just enough to be broken.
like, I was literally going to these interviews straight from work, right? And 15 minutes into the interview, the entire room would smell like fried chicken. And I started like really playing myself. Like, I'd go into these interviews like trying to get my talking points together in my head, and like the voice would just creep in. Like, dude, you don't belong here. They want someone that knows what they're doing. They want a professional. They don't want someone like you. They don't want someone whose only expertise is their fingers touching chicken instead of their fingers touching a keyboard. You don't belong here. Go back to where you were. That is your industry. Stay there. You're going to work there. You're going to die in that gas station. You don't belong in a room with a person that's making six figures and making them crave Popeyes because that's all you know.
Yeah.
I was making myself sick with it until I said, you know what? Popeyes, that's going to be where I go for lunch. That's not going to be where I work for the rest of my life. And
yeah, and
it ended up happening.
No, that's all. I mean, that's awesome story. And like Joe, I was telling Danny about just like your subscribers. You definitely, a lot of your subscribers are very similar to you, and they're probably like, I know you. I saw one of your older videos because I saw that you were like talking about you were like a valet driver making $9.50 an hour, and now you became a software developer, and now software developer to coding phase, and coding phase to like 87 Lux. You know what? Like, that is like a kind of like the quote unquote rags to riches story. And if someone sees someone like you that's like same color becoming a software developer, it's like, dude, I believe I can do that too, right? That's what I love, those kinds of feelings when you're just like, when you see someone ahead of you be able to do that, and you're like, what's stopping me from becoming a software developer? Nothing. And it's just like, damn, that's you may not have the whole audience, or you might not have like the whole group, but at least you got that special group.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, there's been times that I'm like, man, maybe I should switch it out. But then at the same time, I'm like, why should I? When I'm really helping like a lot of people. Like, I'll tell you the truth, man. Like, and this is not to alienate anybody else, but I have the Black and Latino crowd on lock. Like, they relate to me. They know exactly how I am. They know exactly, that feeling of like, I'm working a bullshit ass job and I'm just trying to get in. And there's an opportunity, because when you see here on YouTube, you're watching a video from, I don't know, a music video, or you're watching a video from a guy who he has his life set, whatever it might be, a vlog, whatever it might be. You're like, man, I wish I could be there, but you know what? I'll follow them to see how they live. And then now you're living through them. But when they see me as, shit, this guy was just here a few years ago. Like, I could do the same thing. And then I'm providing a solution to their problem, right? So I might not be the biggest YouTuber or whatever it might be, but at the same time, I'm really helping people. Like, I'm really helping people because I'm showing them a way that they could really get into an industry that is, at the end of the day, it's just a job. This is not a religion. This is not a place for the cool kids. This is not a place for the nerd kids. Nah, this is a place that is just a job. Nobody cares how you look like. Nobody cares what you do. What's your sexual orientation? What's your background? What they care about? Can you bring in solutions to the problems that's here? And if you can do that, you're gonna get hired, right? So by me bringing light to all of that and showing them, like, hey, you know what? This is how I am. I'm just talking to you like a friend. I could go in and be Joseph, but Joseph is that's for the work environment. This is Joe on YouTube. This is just me and you hanging out, talking to each other, and that's it, right? And I know for a fact that that also limits me to a certain level, but at the same time, it also shows me the people that really mess with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need the whole pie. You know what I'm saying? I don't need it's like I look at the biggest YouTubers. This is something that I learned recently, right? The biggest YouTubers, they only have 4 or 5% of the US market, right? Like they'll have 2 million, 3 million subscribers. They only have like 4 or 5%, right? My whole audience is 60% of the US market. What people could relate to me. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I'm not expecting every culture to relate to me. And it's like, nah, this is who I am is what's happening here in the US, right? So it's like I'm talking to a certain niche. So that tells me, you know what? Where I'm at, it's actually pretty good. If I got 75,000 subscribers, right? And I'm 4 or 5% of somebody who might have 1 million, that tells me that pretty much almost everybody who is in this industry who is from the US based, they really follow what I'm saying here. And they follow what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that's another thing too that we haven't talked about. Certain niches, right? There's certain niches to everything that you might do. You might go in and talk about Python, and Python might be a global thing where you have a bigger audience of 500,000 users, or maybe 500,000 or 800,000 users. But you might talk about ASP.NET, and ASP.NET worldwide might be just 200,000. And you might think like, damn, why am I not as big as the next guy who has, 1 million, 2 million users? But it's like, bro, you're in a certain niche. You got to look at the numbers that's in your niche to figure out where exactly you're placed. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to reach everybody. Not everybody is into ASP.NET. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I had to learn, after like 3-4 years, where it's like, man, because I didn't know about this, right? This is things that just came into light probably in late 2020, where I'm like, oh, like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, now I realize I put a lot of pressure. Like, now somebody like Danny Thompson comes in, you don't have that pressure of like, I need to make sure I get 100K or 200K, 300K, because you're trying to compete with everybody and this and that. And it's like, you have a niche. Even right now, I'll give you an example. Like, let's say Danny Thompson comes in, right? For example, or TechRally comes in and has 50K of subscribers. Maybe the niche that you're in, 50K is the top. And that now you're just picking up extra from other niches. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For your niche, you might be the number one guy. You get what I'm saying? Like right now, Danny Thompson, I know for the fact, is the number one guy when it comes to LinkedIn. Number one. Because I looked up the other day, I searched LinkedIn, and literally the other people that's in his niche, in that wave of talking about LinkedIn and talking about getting jobs through LinkedIn, who's having like 400 subscribers or like 1,000 subscribers, he might just be the number one guy. So it's like different niches. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that whoever's watching this right now, maybe in the future, maybe right now, this is something that you have to keep in mind. And you know what? I'm gonna make a video about this tomorrow too. You know what I mean? Like
You're getting find newfound motivation.
I just found motivation. Find your niche, and it's crazy because I'm a niche website type of dude, right? But at the same time, I didn't realize this. I thought that everything that has to do with programming, you're able to attract everybody into it. But the truth is, if you're a JavaScript guy, you bring that whole JavaScript crowd. If you're a Python guy, you bring that whole Python crowd. Same thing with PHP. I just started doing research on this. This sounds stupid because I've been talking about PHP for years, but I looked at guys that are into PHP, and those guys, the most they have is like 40,000, 50,000 subscribers, and they've been here for 10 years. The crowd might not be there. You might feel like, damn, why don't I have 100,000 subscribers? Why don't I have 250,000 subscribers? The niche you're in, shows you the crowd that you're gonna get. You get what I'm saying? So
what do you think is the cap for software development niche?
No, software development, sky's the limit. Because if you're able to, like, let's say I'll give you an example, like Mayuko, Jomatech, Def Ed, who else? I'll give you another one. Def Ed, even Traversing Media. Who else is in that crowd? Let's keep it at that, right? Those guys, sky's the limit, because they don't have a niche. They just supplying content for everybody, right? You're serving everybody. So one day you might drop a video, get 10,000 views. Another day you might get 100,000 views. Another day you might get 75,000 views, right? So you're serving everybody. But when you're on a specific niche, you have to know what's your niche's level. Who's the highest guy on your niche, right? And the thing that you're doing, and especially if you're the first guy trying to do it, like yourself. Like, let's say, for example, if you wanted to talk about coaching and you want to talk about how important it is to have a one-on-one session, you got to start doing research to see who else is on that niche. And now, if nobody else is in that niche, in the sense of, hey, who else can do a one-on-one session? You might go in and you go and say, okay, cool. There's only $5,000 subscribers, the closest guy next to me. That might be your niche. And you might think in your head, you start psyching yourself out. You start thinking about, well, this guy got 100,000. This guy got 200,000. But the truth is, you're not in the same niche. You're not. Y'all talk about programming, but you're not in the same level. You're not in the same game. You're not reaching the same audience, right? So that's something that people have to keep in mind, especially if you're coming into the game.
That's also a very interesting thing that I talk about with some people quite a bit. I feel like there's two styles of YouTubers, and there's one style where you focus on a niche because the viewers are interested in the subject you're speaking about. The second style of YouTuber is what I call the talking head, meaning they're there for you. They like you. They enjoy you. And you could read a Dr. Seuss book and they would still show up because it's you. For me, Mayuko is not a niche developer. She's a personality that people enjoy. Traversing Media, to me, is not a niche developer. He could talk about MERN one day. He could talk about PHP another day, right? He's a personality. They're there because they enjoy his speaking style, who he is, and things like that. Dev Ed, he's a personality. Same thing.
I would even say, Joe, you're a personality, dude. You could
Yeah, Joe's
when
a
you do live
personality.
stream, you have like 100 people watching, and you could talk about anything, and people would be watching it. Now I'm curious. You should read a Dr. Seuss book and see how many people actually join. That's like a good experiment.
I'll tell you the truth, but this is the difference, though. I think I will disagree with Danny in the sense of that. I know what he's talking about, but it's a different thing. So I'll give you guys an example. Like, I could go in and read a Dr. Seuss. I could put in my title, Dr. Seuss reads this and that. I'm still gonna get my 100, 150 subscribers. Mayuko comes in, I'm reading Dr. Seuss. She's not getting 150 subscribers. And you know why? Because this is no shade to them, but they're following a certain crowd. So I'll give you an example. There's certain crowds here on YouTube where there's people who want to become the guys who's in San Francisco, who's in Facebook, who's in this and that, the TechRally, the Mayuko, the Jarvis. That's a certain crowd, right? That crowd, people want to become them because they already live there. they drop a certain different type of content, ain't nobody showing up in there. I'm telling you guys ahead of time because, and this is no shit to them. This is the truth. Nobody's showing up in there because people want to follow. They don't really care about XYZ person, right? What they care about is XYZ person is able to eat for free. XYZ person got laundry for free. XYZ person is this and that because they know how to code. XYZ person is able to do this because that's what attracted them. The moment they deviate, you can look at the numbers. I study everybody. You can look at the numbers. If they go in and drop something that's completely different than what they do, it's gone. It's just out of here.
Hold on. I'm going to interject right here because this is a perfect example from today. So Mayuko, her most popular video was, in my opinion, she started the whole a day in the life of a software developer. In my opinion, she pioneered that. Her video went viral, and then after that, people started doing the same thing, right? What was her video today? My problems with hustle culture.
Hustle culture
Has nothing to do with tech. Well, right now it has 55,000 views in the first day. Why? Because she's a personality. People have followed her not because of her tech content, because she's not even releasing a lot of tech content anymore. She's just releasing content that is her. It has nothing to do with the niche anymore. She's a personality.
Yeah, this is the thing, Danny. Once you reach a certain audience and somebody's been riding with you for 6 months and you get the notification, you're gonna watch the videos.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, hold on. So
this has nothing to do.
Here's an interjection.
Right, Jeremiah Peoples goes in, drops a video about programming, but then goes and drops a video about anything else that has to do with his life that's gonna get 300 views. He just had
because he's not a personality.
He's not a personality. Then
he's not a personality. He's a niche. There's the difference. Here's a prime example. Caleb Curry, that we both know. I hate even using his name because I love this guy, right? But he has a very big following, almost 300,000 subscribers, right? What happened to that one series that he dropped? He's like, man, I'm not getting any views. It was outside of his niche. But why did he make a second channel? He's trying to build the brand of a personality in finance. He knows if he drops anything outside of his niche, which is C++, Python, and all that, he's not getting any views on it.
So actually, that's actually
that channel has. Go ahead.
No. I mean, that's a good point because, like, I think you guys asked me about like what kind of content do I want to create. Like, I kind of started off with coding tutorials, but at the same time, I didn't just want to keep creating coding tutorials because view video may be my highest viewed and like most whatever, most people are watching that, but at the end of the day, like I just know that that's not what I want to keep doing with my channel. And obviously, like with the content that I'm creating now, like I want to show that personality side because I don't want to ever feel like, oh wow, like TechRally isn't making another crash course or some kind of series. Like the subscribers might be coming in a lot initially, but if that's not what I want to do long term, if I create like a personal video, then people are going to be like, oh, what the heck is this? But the only people that can do that right now are the ones that already have like somewhat of a, like I would even argue that Traversing Media like didn't really do those videos that often. He just done it once in a while, and then as he got more comfortable, people like started like understanding the man behind the teacher, right? So I think it's something that you either need to address earlier on, or maybe once you're big enough, and then you just say F the views. Like eventually people will still watch because this is Traversing Media, or this is like I watch all of Dorian's videos because he's kind of turning into a personality in my eyes, because he's less about coding tutorials, you know. So
I like Dorian a lot. I like Dorian a lot. But going back to what I was saying, it's just hard to measure. It's hard to measure when you come in and you do 20, 30, 40, 50 videos on a specific niche and you already carry a whole audience. And then from there, it's like, hey, they're used to you. And then from there, come in and be like, okay, cool. This is what I'm dropping now. Like I tell you, who's a personality? Jarvis. If you guys don't know who Jarvis is, yeah probably know. Okay, Jarvis is a personality. He's the perfect example of a personality. People are following him. It doesn't matter what he does. People are gonna follow him. If Michael comes in and drops a video of, hey, I'm cooking fucking Chef Boyardee from the box from the fucking can, like people's gonna click on it and watch it, and that's gonna click on views. But the truth is like, nah, she has a niche. She has a niche of the quote unquote computer science kid, the quote unquote software engineer, software developer. They're all watching her. So when she drops something, people are gonna watch it. A personality is the person that comes in and could really come in and drop the same numbers that they've been dropping. Those are not the same. The same numbers that she's dropping now is not the same numbers that she was dropping before. And we could see it 6 months later when we'll be like, oh, did she fall off? Or nah, it's just people were following her because of this shit. And then you'll start seeing when people come in and pivot and say, oh my God, I'm getting 10,000 views. I gotta go back to my, hey guys, this is how you do
It's too late
iOS.
when they, yeah.
I think your
They have to
definition of
change it.
personality and Danny's definition of personality is a little bit different. Like I think
Yeah.
what Joe is saying, like, is as a personality, anybody will watch my stuff, and like to a certain extent, and then
not what I.
right. But like what Danny is saying is she's become a personality
Yeah.
maybe within her community, but like
Yeah.
doesn't have to talk about
Yeah.
tech all the time at
Yeah,
this point because
so,
people have followed
I
her from the beginning.
Yeah, I think Joe's definition of personality is really an influencer, where I'm
Yeah.
saying a personality is somebody that can talk about any subject within that realm. So,
Yeah.
for example, Mayuko is a personality. It's in a personality in the tech space. But
Yeah.
like, for example, Jeremiah Peoples, like he had that viral video, right? 15 million views. He only captured 30,000 subscribers. But when he released a house video, for example, it got no views. Or anything that's not related to tech, it doesn't do well. Because the people that found him only because of that tech niche. So even in my opinion, I think Jeremiah Peoples needs to just push out some tech content and stop messing off on like this personal thing, because it's killing the people that have signed up. I think he needs to capitalize on that first. But here's my belief, and I agree with Joe. And there's so many examples of this, of where people try to pivot when it's too late into something else. You can create another level. For example, let's say you make tutorials, but now you want to pivot into getting people jobs. You can do that because if you create the right supplementation. But if you go from, hey, we're talking about tutorials, and now tomorrow we're talking about building a covered letter, that's not the same thing. Like, you need to create that pipeline of supplementation. For example, if you make steaks and now you make a steak burger, that's a supplementation. But if you make steaks and you're like, hey, let's talk about this impossible meat burger. No, that's not.
Nobody's watching that.
That's true. You're definitely gonna have the
you're
meat
right,
lover subscribers, and then they're gonna be like, "Hey, what have you tried this alternative ultimate?"
Here's some vegetarian shit. Like, yo, nah,
Yeah.
bro. This is not what I signed up. Shout out to somebody. I think somebody said this on the comment section that you pulled up, and he said, it's funny that we're mentioning Jarvis, and he stopped watching Jarvis after he started doing that, and jumping into different things. And I'll be honest, this is when I stopped watching him, when he found success in the overall YouTube, in the sense of like, I think I forgot what video was it. It became viral because he came into the world of like, he's the perfect example of what happens when you piggyback of people who have success. He's the perfect example. Meaning, he came in, he works with Mayuko. He's Joma knows Mayuko. Mayuko knows TechRally. They all put him on. And then he started doing collaboration on all of their videos. Then he got a certain buzz out of that. A whole bunch of people started subscribing to him. He dropped another video, and then he dropped a successful YouTube overall type video, which blew up and put him into a realm of outside of the computer science niche. Right? The computer science niche became too small for him. He went in and started jumping into other things. Now, when he did that, that's when he lost me. I don't want to see no funny shit. Like, me personally, I'm not signing up to nobody's funny shit. Like, I don't watch funny videos. I don't have time for that, right? I make funny things on my own. So when I saw that, I clocked out. I said, okay, cool, I'm leaving. But he has found a lot of success, and it's like a lot of people has done that. You get what I'm saying? It's the same thing with my boy Josh Flute, my son. Brought him into the game. He started blowing up. He did the corporate cringe. That shit hits with everybody, right? Because everybody has worked at a job where they'd be like, man, this shit is mad cringy, right? So that's outside of tech. That happens everywhere. So then now he's just a slave to corporate cringe and just dropping corporate cringe constantly. So it's like sometimes you want to you have to realize it's like, do you want to do that or do you want to stick with this? It's the same thing with my there's a video that I did that got like 100,000 freaking 100,000 views in 3 days, and I'm like, do I want to be doing this now or do I want to focus on what I came in here for? So it's
Hey,
like,
special shout out to Dorian, by the way.
shout out to
Our
Dorian.
boys here.
Boy, Dorian.
What up, bro?
One thing I'll say, like,
go ahead,
if
go ahead,
you
go ahead.
sign up for something that's not what you want to, attend. One thing I do want to say before we end up on like a fucking reaction video, we are not shitting on like Mayuko or Jarvis or anybody.
true,
like that.
yeah.
We're not saying they're bad. We're actually talking about their success in different lights, but we're talking about it in the realm of personality versus being niche. So please don't make a reaction video and send like, all your followers after me. I don't want that stuff,
analyzing YouTube. This is analyzing YouTube.
Yeah.
This is not knocking their success, knocking what they have done.
On a damn
Everybody that's
video,
been
man.
here, even if you have a month in, you know how much work it takes to even do YouTube alone. So for those guys to find success in other niches and other things, hey, my hat to them. You know what I mean? Shout out to them. We're just analyzing on our niche in this circle of like programming, tutorials, coding, how to get a job. So you're in that realm. And then when this individuals be able to reach out to the masses, like what happens. So that's what we're talking about. But
no, I mean, first of all, I do want to say, as a small YouTuber, you guys are dropping, like y'all are dropping gems, because it really is like something that, as a person that only has like 1,000 subscribers, like you don't ever think about the pivots. You don't ever think about, you're just like trying to enjoy the ride, right? So, but like there are moments where it's like, dang, like, do I want to keep creating the same content over and over again? Like, is there part of me where I want to like show my personal side, and this guy's so yeah, we gotta prepare that YouTube apology speech.
You guys gotta prepare the YouTube apology speech. Look,
yo, hey, guys.
Look, I'll tell you the truth. I don't apologize for anything. If anybody takes anything the wrong way, you know what it is, right? At the end of the day, I mean it in the right way. I'm not trying to diss anybody. I'm not trying to do anything. We're analyzing. Now, I might be wrong, I might be right, but 90% of the time, 98% of the time, I'm right. If that 2%, then I might email you personally. I don't do personal, public apologies. I do personal apologies. So at the end of the day,
there's nothing to apologize.
Nothing to apologize for. And
we're thinking about the YouTube algorithm, and we're talking with people that have like 1,000 subscribers, how to grow.
Yeah, exactly. That's the subject right here. We're gonna just clip it out, and I'll repost through like some finagle editing. But hey, I have to actually give a special shout out. You guys need to follow this guy's channel. If you're like really into like coding comedy, he's legit. Like, he is super funny. Like, he did a skit with like how to deal with product managers, and essentially like it was all through remote, and there was no actual like verbal conversation. It was just like, man, struggles of a developer is so true. It's like, we need to make it pop more, and you're just like, what the hell are you talking about? These are like the very typical software developer like things you run into. So hey, definitely check out his channel. It's super funny.
He got my attention. He did what he needed to do. He got my attention. BGNT. I'm gonna search that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, search it. Yeah, his stuff is good. And I don't. I have to give him a quick shout out.
Yeah, I just subbed.
Yeah, I'm gonna be right here on the side. I'm watching you guys. I'm listening to you guys.
Wow. Okay, that.
I'm just.
Wow, I think I finally got big enough where I have to actually delete messages.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
God.
Well, is it? How do you guys deal with these trolls as you guys get bigger and bigger?
Honestly, let's be real. That's like a fucking 11-year-old that just found YouTube and is trying to play around. I mean, that's exactly what the fuck that was.
Oh man, that's you guys are moderators? Generally, I have to like be like real quick on that.
Yeah. Normally, I have a moderator. I have a couple moderators. Even for my Discord, I have several moderators. Especially because now we've grown like to past 3,000 people in the
Yeah,
Discord. Like we have to.
yeah. I have
And the
one
worst part is
moderator.
like even like in the Discord, we have trolls that try to come in during the time where like Americans are asleep. Because like, oh, American moderators are asleep. Cool. Let me try and like scam people, do Bitcoin scams and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, Danny, I don't want to take up more of your time because it is like
Yeah,
really
I
late.
was trying to find the way to segue out because I'm like, hey
Nah,
man,
hey,
it's past 1 a.m. Like
feel free
it's
to
over
leave.
with.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
totally get it. I mean, Joe didn't even say bye. He just left.
Yeah, but
No,
we'll
but I
definitely do
appreciate.
something else. We'll talk in private about some things that
Yeah,
we could do, and maybe we'll try and like make some mock-ups on some thumbnails and see how that does.
yeah, I really appreciate it. Obviously, if there's anything that I could help you with, whether it's I know you're trying to expand outside of Memphis, and I know obviously New York City is a big hub, so I love hearing out
I do
ideas.
a
I
ton of
love.
talks in New York, man. I just
Yeah.
did a talk there on Thursday.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
I do a lot of talks in New York. I do a lot of companies. I spoke at NYU and when was that? Before Thanksgiving. I spoke at NYU to the computer science department. So yeah, I'm always talking. Like this whole week here, I got my high school tour, which is I'm speaking at 22 high schools all of this week. So just a bunch of high school students trying to get them motivated and inspired and learning and things like that.
Yeah, that's man. I guess I always want to be like asking or saying that. Oh man, I don't know how you do it, but to your point, you just gotta say, "I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that," and that's very true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all priorities. Once I decide it, like it's done. Like people think like it's an exaggeration, but it's a genuine belief. That's so funny. I mean, of
I'm
course,
so
we're
dead.
we're gonna do
This guy's
something for
so
sure.
funny. This guy's so
Yeah,
yo. Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna help it. I actually don't fall. Don't watch his YouTube channel. You know, he doesn't
no,
he doesn't deserve it. No,
but
I'm kidding.
public speaking has been something that I never intended on, but I've done it more than ever. But if you ask me, like, let's say in 2019, I'll be public speaking. There's no way.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
You know what? Like weird in my head, and I've never said this to anyone. I'm like, you're kind of becoming the Gary V of the Cody community. I don't know if anyone's actually said that, but I mean
I
that in a
hear
good
like
way.
every day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like
every
don't
day is
stop.
someone's good.
Yeah, don't stop what you're doing because like you may have haters, but I bet you there's so many more people that are just like that. Yeah, I love what he's saying.
Yeah,
It's really helpful.
honestly, I think the real like almost every day I get a message of, man, I was down, now I'm back to coding because of you, which
Yeah,
fucking blows my mind.
yeah,
But the other thing is I've now like got tangible results of several hundred people landing their first jobs in tech. Like you can't tell me to stop now because like what am I gonna you're gonna stop me from getting people jobs? Like you're
yeah,
gonna tell me like don't tweet out tips that help people get jobs or help people go through the monotonous process of constantly being told over and over again that they're not good enough for a role. Like
yeah,
you're telling me a free simple tweet can take someone from a fast food joint to making six figures and you're going to tell me to stop? What are you bringing to the table where you're telling me to stop
yeah.
besides disdain for whatever's going on? No, absolutely not. I will not stop as long as the people that are getting the help get it. I'll forever do it.
Yeah, and it's like it's a rush. I mean, in some weird way, like when I was helping that one individual with a coaching session, and just being able to see her journey go from feeling like she felt defeated. She even asked me like, should I just join a tech company as a community manager and then try to be a software developer? I was like, no, 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 don't do that. You put in way too much work for you to just give up. And just being for her to actually have that software engineering title, obviously she thanked me, and like I only played like a very little part of just like pushing her, making sure she just stays motivated. But man, like if I could do that like at a scale, that's actually my goal. Like my goal is to help people get in their first software developer job at scale. And if I could do that through my YouTube channel or through a course, I think I mean, to answer your original question, that is what I want to do with my YouTube channel. So
I mean, 2.5 hour conversation brought out the exact purpose of what you want to do, right? I mean,
yeah, we went from like
it,
YouTube analysis to
I,
like my goal.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think what you really need to do is figure out, like in a complete fashion, what the pipeline is that you want people to take.
Mhm.
the method that that translates to that job, besides try this, like we break
Exactly.
it down. And
Yeah.
once you have that, you can start creating that pipeline. Like for me, that's why I created the LinkedIn series. That's why I created the portfolio series. Like all those series is literally just to piggyback off of, and I released it for free on purpose. And you know what's funny is what, like, for a long time nobody was watching it until the results started coming in of people landing jobs.
Yeah.
And like the craziest thing about that was I told people, like, if I start charging for this LinkedIn series, I'll get way more views on this than if I put it out for free. And
Yeah.
so the other day I had this crazy idea. I was like, you know what? This is like a week and a half ago. I was like, every day I get requests like, can you review my LinkedIn profile? I had like at one point like 500-600 people backed up, like, please review my profile. So I said, you know what? I put out a LinkedIn service. I was like, okay, here's 3 tiers. Tier 1, I'll tell you what's wrong with your profile. Tier 2, I'll tell you what's wrong and suggestions on how to fix it. Tier 3, I'll write your profile, right? And tier 3 is $300. I have a backlog now of people that have paid for tier 3 that I'm writing their profiles.
Oh my goodness.
Like, it's nonstop. And here's the thing, like, the LinkedIn series is completely free. Go watch it for free. I put it out for free on purpose. But if you charge for it, more people are like, oh, this has to be way more valuable than the free thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And like, what's funny is I just released that last week, and one person right now sent me a screenshot this morning, over 1,000% increase in the profile views in 1 week.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, man, I mean, with that being said, man, I want you to get some rest. You look like you're a little tired, but you know, all that hard work.
1 a.m. Like, it's over with. Yeah.
Take it easy, my friend.
All right, brother.
I appreciate you coming on. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
And we're out. Thanks everyone for coming on the stream. Cody Face is back, but I think we're gonna have a wind down session, Cody Face. But let me add you on real quick. And hey, man, thanks for coming on, my brother. You're much appreciated.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You have me, in this live stream. I'm connected to the charger. I'm on my phone. For anybody watching, I'm on my phone. So my phone died. So it is what it is. Thank you for having me in here. I just came by, say what's up, and shout out to your audience, and I appreciate it, man. We gotta definitely
you're always welcome.
Yeah, we definitely gotta do another live stream on my channel. Going into your history and everything, and we definitely gonna bring in Danny Thompson. That's the homie. But yeah, I just decided, you know what? Let me come back and put my phone to charge. As you can see, this is the cable, guys. Somebody might be like, they took him out. Nah, they ain't taking me out.
You got shadow, man. You too, TechRally. Gave you everything. I taught you everything you know.
Boo him out.
Boo his head.
All right, man. You already know. Have a good night. Shout out to everybody in here. You already know the joke. Back at it again.
Back at it again.
87
Hey, everyone, if you want to learn how to code, codingface.com, 87lux.agency is about to blow up too. So stay tuned.
Definitely, man. Thank you for having me on, man. Take care.
Yeah. Take care. All right, guys. This is the end. But you know what? I'm gonna stay on for like maybe like 5-10 more minutes. Have like a little wind down session, play some music. Hopefully I don't start lagging. Yeah, let's do it. See if it works. You know what? You gotta wind out with me. Just me. Let's see. Let's share a screen. Chrome tab. First of all, thank you everyone for coming on to the stream. It was quite of a wild 2.5 hours of chatting. Yo, I think my internet is actually better now, so this is good. And you know what? Actually, I only have one moderator on my Discord channel, and it's DGNT. He does a horrible job, but you know what? Beggars can't be choosers, so I gotta do what I gotta do. I think sometimes motivation doesn't work. You know what? Yeah. It's not about motivation, it's about discipline. So you kind of, in my opinion, motivation just comes up. It's all about, well, how do I say this? Motivation is, you're going to have ups and downs, but if you have discipline, and what Danny was saying about priority, if you prioritize it enough, you're going to do it. And it's kind of like brushing your teeth. Why do you brush your teeth every day? It's because if you don't brush your teeth are going to get bad. So it's something that, you know, you just have to make it a habit, and hopefully your habits will pay off. And like, you don't get a six-pack by not working out, right? Same thing. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens there. But no, I really appreciate everyone that joined. You know, shout out to the GOATs, you know, Danny Thompson and Coding Phase for coming on and kind of giving us a lot of insight. You know, I think sometimes we don't see what's behind the curtain, and they give us a lot of insight about YouTube algorithms and in general, just the kind of hustle that, you know, even as influencers, I think people just think like we just make content and it's so easy for us, but there's a lot of things that, you know, happens. And I'm only a puppy in this game, and obviously like they came in with some hard questions like, what are my goals with this channel? What do I want to get out of this? Like, how do you make sure you have the infrastructure and know what to do to like have your channel succeed? I think these are all like very fair questions to ask, and something I should think about. And I'm so glad that I have people who are like way ahead of the game compared to me, asking me these questions and telling me like, look, like there are things you definitely need to improve on with your channel, and you know, you can't just keep repeating the same things over and over again and expect a different result. So yeah, I got a lot of great mentors. I have a lot of great people that I can ask questions to, and I'm very appreciative of that. And like, you know, I think the reason why I was able to talk to a lot of these cool people is because you kind of need to do your like shoot your shot moment. Whether it's like, you know, like I messaged Krishan directly many times before and he never responded, but then I made a video about him saying how, you know, like talking about his success stories and giving a little background, and then he noticed. So I think even as like people trying to get into software development, you got to shoot your shot. Don't be shy. Make a Twitter, create blogs, like get out there and really just talk to people, you know, because that's how you get noticed. And like, you know, to a certain extent, like someone like Joe or Coding Face shouldn't talk to someone like me. I'm only 1,000, he's at 75 or 80. But if you're, I don't want to say you play your cards right, but if you are able to, you know, provide value to someone and be very genuine about what you're trying to do, then people want to help. Like, I hope that, you know, when I'm at 50,000 one day or 70,000, you know, I could help the little guy who I kind of struggle with. And that's kind of what I do now with, like as a senior developer, I try to help out a lot of people that as much as I can that are trying to break into the space. So that's tough, yeah. So if I make a video about Josh, look, will he notice me? Maybe. Why not? I mean, you kind of got the tech lead to respond to one of your messages, right? So how did you connect with the greats? At first it was like through direct messaging, and then you start, I don't know, I made a video about a few of them. I made a video about Brad Traversy, and then I made a video about Krishan, and things started growing that way organically. And yeah, that's it. To be honest, like I think one thing that kind of threw me off with the goal question was I probably have a problem with like stating how ambitious I am about this YouTube channel, because like I'm like still not sure what I want to do. Obviously I have a lot of like safety around me by, you know, I have a job on Monday that I'm going to be working at, and you know, I'm nothing against 9 to 5 obviously, but you know, now I could see that obviously there's like a lot of potential and people are noticing my channel more. And like before, it just used to be like me and DGNT in the stream and maybe like one other person. And it's just kind of crazy how it's people are just like coming and, you know, like adding in their input and things like that. So it's a great experience, and I'm never gonna feel like I'm entitled to this, because that's not who I am. And I'm always going to be forever grateful for anybody that comes along the way. And just like me, I know I have a bigger channel than DGNT, but I really feel like his channel is gonna blow up too. And like I could tell those the goats that you have a channel as well, and like it's really funny and something that people should be made aware of. I'm gonna tell them. Like, I have no problem. And I think Danny was saying the same way, where it's like you gotta, not helping other people won't affect your like end game, right? Like, I hope DGNT has more subscribers than me, because that means he's killing it. And like, why would I want failure for someone else, right? And that's the mentality that I want to moving forward. And I feel like those people like Danny and Joe and all these other YouTubers, like, they have the same mentality. They just want to help. So I'm in Discord where time different. Yeah, I mean that's a tough one, and I'm not really sure what kind of advice I could give you for that. But sometimes you need to sacrifice sleep to be able to talk to these people, or like try not to go for like the giants right away. Like talk to people that are in the same level as you, and kind of grow your way up there. Like, no one should ever feel like they're entitled to someone's time. And their time is super valuable. You have to understand that. Like, these people are very busy. Danny's doing a lot of like talks. Joe's has a business. So to be able to have people squeeze time in for you is you have to take that into consideration. This is kind of like the wind down session. So I was planning on doing maybe like 10 more minutes, and then kind of ending the stream. But I was saying how very much appreciative of you, and like, I love that there's a lot of things I'm learning, and obviously the just the genuine aspects of just like helping others is something that I will definitely want to do moving forward. And if I ever get to 50 and 60,000 subscribers, like helping out those smaller channels, and as long as you're like as the one that's getting the feedback, you gotta really value that person's time, because they don't, you have a business, you have Coding Phase, you have your agency, you have your interns now that you're gonna have to manage. So like, anytime that someone that's ahead of you, and I'm a puppy in this game, but anytime they're willing to help you, you gotta fully appreciate what they give you, and you can never take that for granted. Yeah. New York never sleeps. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Oh my god, this is crazy. I love the lives, man. Appreciate taking time to share with you. Yep. Yeah, no problem. Didn't know what to expect. I think I was only planning on doing like a what, hour stream. I think that's generally what we've been doing. But last time we ended up doing like a 3-hour stream where I had like guests on, and we were just talking about random stuff. That was really fun. And but no, it's been really good. But yeah, wow, 2 hours and 43 minutes we've been talking. That's insane. Thanks, brother. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. If I did a 24-hour stream, I would literally just invite someone and then go to sleep. And then, like, once that time difference is covered, then we'll, like, do another one. But yeah, hopefully, anybody that's watching, I hope that it was kind of cool to get some insight on these content creators, YouTubers, developers, whatever you want to call them, businessmen. I think a lot of them have so many gems that we don't ever get to see. And like, this was so ad hoc. Obviously, I didn't plan on having Coding Phase on or Danny on. It was just why not, right? If someone's giving you a chance to talk to them and everyone can see it, why not take it? So Yo, if you go live, I will end my stream right now and watch your live. So if you go live, let me know. I will literally watch your stream right now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I will literally end my channel right now. So I don't have to keep talking. Yeah, I suggest every junior. No. But do it if you want to do it. But I think at a minimum, you should start creating like blogs and talk about your coding journey. Use Medium, use like dev.to, use Hashnode. All of those platforms are good for you to share your developer knowledge, and then create a Twitter account and things like that. Yeah. Dude, that's actually would be really, really fun. And I that was something I was actually talking to Chris Sean about potential that. Well, obviously, I don't think I could do it, but if a group of developers create like a content house, how funny would that be? That would be really cool. Now I'm watching you after you stop. I'm going live. I'm going to live. Okay, well, I'm gonna stop in literally like 4 more minutes because I am in the mood for consumption and not providing talking points because there's nothing to talk about at this point. But man, it's crazy. YouTube is you meet so many different people, and Joe, I am curious about like maybe on the live stream you could talk about it, like your experience with Clubhouse, because I think I saw one of your tweets and you're mentioning like where all my homies at. And I was like, oh, I know what he's talking about here. I personally really like Clubhouse, but maybe that's just me. I also was never working, so probably that's why that was probably my addiction for the 3 weeks. But now that I'm gonna start working on Monday, it's gonna be an interesting ride, and maybe that's why I also did a live stream, because I knew that once I start working, I'm gonna have to figure this YouTube channel out, and it is what it is. That's good. Hey, anytime, man. Anytime you want to take over my channel, go for it. You're the entertainer, and I'm the smart one. Just kidding. Just never sleep. Can you make me a logo? A cooler logo like yours? Someone gonna take a screen capture of that? At codingface.com. I start Monday. Back to the 9 to 5. Hey, you know what? I don't mind 9 to 5. Honestly, it's not for everyone, but it's an opportunity for me, specifically for where I am in my career, and I think it could. I can't talk about where I'm going to be working, but it's definitely going to jumpstart me from a LinkedIn like professional networking perspective. It may be even helpful for my YouTube channel, and I see a lot of good things in the future with it. So I'm pretty excited. Yeah. No, I mean, with DGNT, he's always gonna have a a good place in my heart, because he was there when I only had one or two people watching. There's one time it was just like literally me and him talking, and there was only one person watching, and it was him on the YouTube channel watching me stream. So we were just talking. Well, it is back to the office, but actually it's remote, so we're all good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. You bought to kill. Yeah, I mean, these are all like stepping stones, like I know I'm probably, we'll see how long I stay there, but ideally I'm going to stay there for a bit and learn a lot, and then carry that on over to new and better things. But I'm still young and I got the game. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm talking about, dude. I didn't even tell you where I'm working. How do you know what name is good? You know, is it called? Maybe I'm building my own brand, TechRally LLC, and I'm just employing myself as a ultra super senior developer. Anyways, guys, I am going to head out and I'm gonna watch Coding Phases live stream. So definitely go there afterwards. I wish YouTube had like a raid of some sort like Twitch does, but obviously it doesn't. And it's not like Coding Phase needs 15 people watching his video. I'm sure it's already gonna be like blasted with like 100 or something. So definitely go there. Explain. As a millionaire, who am I? Dude, this is all. It's supposed to be a wind down, Joe. I can't. I'm getting way too lit right now. So this is a wind down session. It's a safe space. We're just chilling out, and yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you later, and thank you for coming to my almost 3-hour live stream. I'll talk to you guys. Bye.